football action. Round 19 is kicking off this evening, and of course it's the Essendon Bombers taking on the GWS Giants. Should be a pretty good game tonight. I know, look, last week Essendon came off a, let's just say a pretty horrendous beating from Richmond. Certainly didn't play the best last week, but we are certainly hoping for a lot better game tonight from this Essendon lineup against the GWS Giants. Of course, well, the Bombers, they're playing for a little bit of pride. They're playing for pride, and of course, the Giants playing to cement themselves into, let me just get this right, into the top 8, of course. That'll do. There we go. As we just have a little bit of a look at the season ladder, of course, Essendon down there in 14th spot. As I said, they're just playing for pride. And, of course, the GWS Giants sitting there in 7th spot. Really important that the Giants win this game if they want to stay in the top 8. If they lose this game, well, there's a big chance that they could be out of the top 8 after this round. So big game for the Giants today. All right, that is the ladder. Just looking at the lineups for both teams here, and of course, for Essendon, plenty of changes. We've got Archie Perkins, Liam McMahon, Vigo Vincenti, Matt Guelphy, Dylan Shield, Jay Gresham coming in. So some big ins coming in for the Bombers. Going out, Saddlefield, Nate Caddy, Nick Martin, Todd Goldstein, Elijah Tsatsis, and Ben Hobbs. Of course, big outs going out for the Bombers as well. Liam McMahon is a new player. Zach Jones is a sub. And, of course, the only debut game is the milestone of Liam McMahon there for the Bombers. Of course, for the GWS Giants, of course, Toby McMillan, Max Grakowski coming in, Stephen Coniglio, and, of course, going out, Josh Kelly, Jesse Hogan, the spearhead for the Giants, going out, Harvey Thomas. Harry Roaston is the sub. There are your team lineups for these, for the both sides there this evening. Let's try and get that a little bit straighter. Hopefully that's a little bit better. We'll end up getting it a little bit straighter for you folks out there anyway. But, yeah, we are only, let me put that back there, we're only a minute away from the bounce of the ball for the opening quarter here. It's going to be fantastic. It should be a good game. Look, I expect Essendon to come out pretty hard. We're going to see what they do. We're going to see, well, how much fight they've got left in the tank. Of course, there's only a few games. Game board, Shody, what's going on? What's going on there? There's only a few games left in the home and away season here, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see the grit that Essendon can bring. Of course, as we all know, the Giants pretty good form, and they've got everything to play for. Hey, Jack, how you going? Yeah, I'm going to watch it too. Good stuff. Yeah, I usually watch it and do this as well, so it's absolutely... that's pretty good. You know, everyone comes in, has a little bit of a chat. So it's all pretty good fun. All right, I'm just putting the poll up there. Who you think's going to win this game tonight? Is it going to be Essendon or the Giants? Look, my tip's going to be the Giants, and I think the Giants should win by, let me just put it out there at 47 points. But I actually follow Collingwood. There you go. The Pies are doing all right on top of the ladder at the moment. They play Fremantle, of course, in the next game. And, of course, Fremantle, as I said, Fremantle are hanging in there on 8th. As I said, the Giants there sitting in 7th position. Western Bulldogs only one game out of the 8. So, it could be anyone. All these are going to really change and chop and change. So it's all about making sure you win your games. Kappa. Cappy Kappa. Hey, Shouty. How you doing? You're the same. Good stuff. Yeah, go Pies. Hoping the Pies have a big victory. It should be good. Look, the Pies are playing pretty good. I think they they need to get their full squad back up and running, not too far away, and get their best game played. Yeah, last week for them was certainly a game that I predicted them to sort of let go. Who? The Pies. The Pies need to get back to their best. But the Bombers, tonight's match, the Bombers need to get back to a little bit of pride and play for, a little bit of spirit. Pies going to win the premiership. I think they're the team to beat. They're certainly the team to beat, and they have been all year. So we'll just see what happens. You know what? It all comes down to, you know, if your squad is fit and healthy, and sometimes it's who's got least injuries in their team that can really, last time go. Yeah, no, that was, you know, that was 100% expected from the Pies last week. I actually tipped Gold Coast. Gold Coast are a very hard team to beat up there. And I thought that was just the type of game that the Pies could sort of let slip. You know, I mean, it even stated that with starting Pendlebury on the as the sub last week. You know, as soon as he came onto the ground at half time, the game sort of changed on its head. But yeah, just unfortunately we couldn't. You support the Lions? What do you think? Hey, I tell you what, the Lions are flying at the moment. Lions are absolutely flying at the moment. They're going well. Look, they have to be probably the second team in contention. The Cats, you know, they've got an extremely easy run home to the finals, and I think that's going to be an issue for the Cats coming into the tough games in the finals, having so many easy games. All right, hey, that's enough for me chit-chatting for the moment. Let's get down to the action. They're about to bounce the ball for the opening quarter. The Bombers taking on the Giants. Let's head on down.
The Giants back under the lid on a Thursday night. And away we go. I think Byzantini and Briggs go at it. Briggs winning the first tap. Quick kick from Durham. It's a bouncing ball inside 50. Mopped up by Alir and then through Angwin under the bus. Immediately a good tackle from Dursma. Some good opening signs and a ball up.
Right, it's an opportunity in the ruck. Briggs just tries to steam his way through. Hoofed off the ground out towards Jones. There is Stringer, runs away from his opponent. Forward hand pass again to Jones on the outer side. Working through traffic, does nicely. Centres the ball to Green, can't pick it up. Big body, takes it on. The Bombers get an opportunity the other way through Dursma.
Dursma hoping for merit. Was able to retreat to him and he just pops it up into the air. It's a bit of an up and under. Ash did the spoiling and did well. He's got to be quick though, and then he's going to switch play, but the kick was shallow and it was cut off by Clark.
Great play. Clark alert, waiting for the switch. We've been talking about the way the Giants want to use the ball, lateral and then go. Teams are stalking them. You can just see he got set Clark and he come forward at a rate of knots. Himmelberg thought he had time. The kick hung just a fraction, and it's because of the pressure of Kako. Great start, Bombers.
The boy from Mount Gambier, Angus Clark, looking for his fifth goal in AFL competition, didn't strike it well. That's a score for Essendon.
Yeah, it's a great sign for the Essendon Football Club. It's the fact that they are looking and have scouted the fact that the Giants want to come through the middle. That's 2 forward half turnovers early. Puts a bit of worry into the GWS mind.
Whitfield in game 2-5-1. Takes a bit off and goes short to Iden. He's got short options. Looks down the Medallion Club wing. Hangs the ball up slightly. And it's through the hands of the Giant. Back towards Clark, Roberts and Ridley.
They combine along the wing. Hurried kick towards the 50. Off hands it goes. And it's going to be Buckley. Now that looping handball puts his teammate under the pump. And then it was Perkins who got rid of it quickly. Came out towards McGrath and they switch it out to Blackiston, who has it at half back. He's called to play on quickly, so he does. Reverting off a standing start. Little chip in the air. It's not good enough. Angwin back to Jones.
Jones, helmet on as per. Overrun by Dursma. Hot foot of it to one. Goes the way of the Giants. Whitfield. Green massages it forward to his namesake. Toby takes a nice grab, pops it out in front, too much on it. Stringer had 3 metres on his man. That wasn't quite where he needed to be. Opportunity for the Bombers through Durham, and they clean up.
Hurry kick out to Roberts. So Roberts goes a little bit more corridor to Ridley.
Gee, if he had to pull the trigger a bit quicker there, he had Merritt flying back towards goal. Good start from the Bombers this defensively. Back six holding up.
Clark, who had that opening shot at goal from the flank. Low trajectory ball, spearing ball. Punched away from Guelphy. O'Halloran quick hands, Callaghan. Working in concert with McMahon. But a good tackle again from the Bombers. They've been ferocious in the first 3 or 4 minutes. Merritt's handball inboard. Through the middle goes Perkins. Kick towards the pocket. Is it a chance for 2-metre Peter? He was spoiled. Spilt to Dersma. He was grabbed by Angwin and another ball up.
Yeah, just would love to see Peter Wright grab that one, though. And Archie Roberts was the one that laid that tackle and got the turnover. That's got to be taken, though, by Peter Wright.
Positive start for the Bombers. Repeat entries early. Towards Kako. Does well. Keeps his feet. Gets it away from Whitfield. Scoops up at ground level. Back to McGrath. Centering ball. Clark will stand underneath it again. The big fist from Aaliyah. Green takes on the tackler in Merritt, who somehow brings him to ground, holding the ball.
Tackle pressure enormous. They're all over him here, the Bombers. They're up for the fight early. And you can just see GWS are playing like they're expecting to break every tackle, and the Bombers are not letting that happen.
Dished off. Long range. Redmond from outside the arc. A couple of early opportunities for the Bombers go wasted.
Yeah, and that's the greatest myth in footy. Handball into a guy charging like that. The strike rate on that opportunity is about 5%.
Maybe the sense of occasion, Mason Redmond playing on the former teammate.
So Lockie Ash to bring it back into play. Whitfield. So no real pressure on him in the back pocket, but he's going to flirt with the boundary line here. McMullen, he's marked it, and they've paid it.
Yeah, just watching Darcy Jones. He's the one getting a lot of space, charging back, fat side towards goal.
So McMullen's high ball to a 2-on-2 over the back. There was a whistle though, and the free kick is going to GWS. That looks pretty much out, that decision there, doesn't it? But the boundary umpire was right on the spot, and in the middle of the ground, McMullen's got it again.
So the first real chance to move the ball forward for the Giants. Inside 50's 3-1 the way of the Bombers.
He's trying to work it into that 50 to 70 metre range.
Stringer's got the mismatch on Dylan Shield here.
So much firepower forward the Giants. Riccardi plays on. Tugs the kick down towards Briggs. He's shuffled out to the side. Laverty keeps his feet. McGrath, bit of fancy footwork. And wobbles it out of defence. It works out okay though. And lands on the chest of Luamamawam.
Salawal, not the required trip to Shield. And then to Blackiston. So they exit D50 pretty cleanly. Shield galloping down the wing, sends it towards the forward flank. Young McMahon, first gamer, goes for the fist. An early involvement and out of play, Kingy.
Very much a one-on-one defence, the back six for the Giants. So you look at it and you think, gee, we're a chance here. And then you see Iden and Buckley. You say, oh, maybe we're not. They're pretty handy, their back six. Missing Taylor, of course.
The family of Liam McMahon, they've rode the journey with him 5 years ago on the Collingwood list. Now gets his first AFL game after having a fine season in the VFL this year with Carlton. Mid-season pick-up, and now he's playing for the Bombers. Redmond sends it in his direction. Right, stretches out. 2 bites, not the third. Ground level ball is pulled in.
That's 2 chances Peter Wright's had to take marks inside 50. He's the one that's looking damaging at the moment there. Playing on a very good player in Jack Buckley, but needs to mark those.
Plenty of time spent early in the forward 50 for the Bombers. Kako, Dersma, Merritts, round the corner. Who's home? McMahon shoved out of position. Guelphy is there and eventually off hands and out.
Essendon plus 15 disposals already early in this game. The Giants at the moment, they really just need to get their hands on the footy.
Visibly small crowd, you would say, tonight, Thursday night at Marvel Stadium. Green, Buckley, round the body towards Jones. McGrath with the fist, controls it out.
Been a poor starting teams, the Giants. The last 6 weeks they've only won 1 first term. Had their issues getting out of the gates.
Briggs and Wright, bouncing ball. Briggs just bunts it towards the boundary. Picked up by Kako round the corner. That'll do.
You can already just see an element of frustration coming in. Tom Green looking sideways, asking who Who's on who?
That's Guelphy, who was clearly going to Whitfield on that occasion. He just tried to roll off a fraction early.
Guelphy kicked 4 against GWS in round 21 of 2022. His best haul against this team. He'll be kicking from outside the arc. So a decent assignment here early for Matt Guelphy. He's got hold of it. It looks straight. It's going to prop up right on the line and touched.
And that'll annoy the goal kickers out there. I know it annoys Jason Dunstall, the fact that you just can't see the absolute distance through. If you can't make it, you've got to find another option. There's no point kicking to the goal line to create the easiest of rush behinds.
Buckley touched properly after that contest. Ash to reset. And he's well supported by Himmelberg. Marks nicely. Just bunts the ball forward. Not able to control it is Brown.
As they focused on the speed of ball movement at the start of the game, the Giants may be looking to go too quick at the moment. The option still needs to be on. You still need to set yourself and make sure that the possession is up to the AFL standard at the moment. Kicking not there.
All in the Bombers half so far. Cornelio back in the team this week after that glute injury, had him sidelined for 13 weeks. Kick back in the middle, dangerous. Ash with the fist, O'Halloran, and then throws it on the boot. Here's a chance. Riccardi couldn't grab it with one hand. Blackiston was there, was hoping for Brown, but the handball was offline. McGrath, Clark, quick hands. Redmond up against the boundary, can compose himself and then kick it towards the wing. Right up the ground, couldn't mark it. Off hands Buckley. And now it's going to be Callaghan who sinks his boot into it and marked by Brown. Too far out to score. Props it towards the pocket. Riccardi with 2 to beat. 2 touches of it. Couldn't quite grab it. Ridley, quick kick towards Clark. He's grabbed, ridden into the ground. And the umpire wants it.
Well, both key forwards at the moment, or both forward lines at the moment, struggling to take a mark inside 50. It was a little bit dewy and the roof was open with a bit of drizzle. At about 4 p.m. this afternoon, both sides just not being able to catch it inside 50.
Clark's a goer, isn't he? That's his 6th disposal already. Now, early on in his career.
He's in trouble here. Yeah, he's a bit stiff there. Good tackle from Toby Green. He had a heartbeat or two to get rid of. He's not very impressed with the call. Don't often see Toby on the right side of calls. He'd be very happy with this.
He's about 40 out in a tight angle, Toby Green. Have a look at it, see what you think.
Takes possession. Oh,
that's stiff.
Gee whiz.
Stiff.
Green plays on. Doesn't matter what side of the body it is for Toby, because he is all class. Opening goal of Thursday night footy.
It's amazing, Jack, that when the game looks like it's struggling a little and the Stars just say, hang on, let's just sort this out. I mean, it was a lucky free kick in the end, but that finish is of the highest of quality.
Yeah, and I think the Bombers would be flat. They've had all the possession in their forward half, 70% at the moment. The Giants go down there, and you're right, it is a bit of luck with a free kick, and Clark would think that he's been dealt harshly here with this holding the ball. But the snap from 40 metres, it's one of the hardest things to do in AFL football, and Toby Green has just made that look easy. That's nearly gone through post high too, from the Giants captain as well. I celebrated game 250 a month ago, a champion of the game and one of the most important players to the push to finals for the Giants.
2 last week, kicked 4 against the Dons in 2016 in round 13, his best effort. Callaghan. He goes to Himmelberg, low darting ball looking out for Cadman. It's going to be a free kick the other way going to the former line Pryor. Pryor's short one. Gresham is thinking about a flyby, but goes himself. Man on the mark, preoccupied, sends it wider. Bouncing ball. Aaliyah's going to be the first one there, up against May and out.
It is different, Jack, when you look up and you see all your forwards only one-on-one with their defenders. And most teams flood numbers back, and it's you got to try and put into pockets. And I think Essendon at the moment are a bit aggressive to rush the ball to that one-on-one contest, find some intermediate targets, build the ball up a little bit.
David King, Jack Rewalt, Brad Johnson and Matty Hill, Thursday night footy on Fox. Iden forward. I can't complete the mark. Green, slick hands. Backhand pass is nicely picked up by Anglin. Spins in and out of trouble. Opportunity now for Dersma. Gresham stops, props. Doesn't get much penetration with the kick forward. Makes it tough for the man coming from behind on debut. McMahon snapped out of the pack. Across the face. It was an opportunity for Oscar Smart to kick his first AFL goal. Not quite.
It was a good place to crumb, though. Looked very lively. Just having a bit of trouble moving the ball here. This is good defensively from the Bombers. Just working the mark hard there. You can see get up, make them pick over the man.
Fonte, his kick. Whitfield with the fumble, then trying to make something of it.
And that there's just a really silly error by Lockie Whitfield. No need to kick it off the ground like that.
So the ball's going to come back from where it came. Elias sets himself out the back towards the Fonte direction. Grabbed by May, and the tackling from the Bombers has been excellent.
Well, I think one of the best things you can see from an Essendon point of view, if you're watching at home, is the fact that there's so many Bombers jumpers in the TV screen at the moment. That is simply work rate and wanting to get to the contest.
Riccardi and McMahon compete in the ruck. Callian around the body. High ball. Cadman gets a hand to it. Managed to keep it in the Bombers through Dersma. Not much room to work. Spills to Stringer. In the bright purple boots. Another turnover. Opportunity for the Bombers again through Pryor. Long ball forward. Approaching it hard. And well, the Bombers just off the instep. Gives the opportunity now for the Giants running off half back.
McGrath's going to mop it up though and try and send it the other way, but cut off through the middle. Bedford retreats back to Whitfield. Off a step. Searching kick to centre half forward. Punched away from Toby Green. McGrath, Blackiston looks out to Roberts. Set up okay for him. Wobbly Munn kick out towards the wing. Is it good enough for Gresham? He has to take his medicine. Little handball back inboard to Callaghan and then through O'Halloran's legs. They go to ground. Gresham with the tackle over the top. Spat out the side. Brown, it's a hot football at the moment. Perkins went in, McGrath goes in. Now Whitfield, that's a little bit better. That was cleaner. Riccardi, O'Halloran kick inside 50 over the head of Jones. Ruchewski picked it up. And then it's Jones who's ridden. Gee, it's a hot football here at the moment. Another chance. Ruchewski. But it's going to be Luau who's going to clear it out through Pryor. And out it goes to Dersma, and the Bombers thought it through in the end.
Roberts off half back, assesses his options, sends it down the outer wing. Buckley, height in the contest, stands up pretty well, spills out to Gresham, just gets through the tackle. Now an opportunity, dump, so the advantage will be paid. There's no real advantage in the end, but the umpire called them to go. Now Himmelberg through the middle of Marvel Stadium, scrappy start to this one. Out wide to Cadman, coming off a wonderful game last week, chips it forward. Well done, Shield, came back, got an important fist in. Doesn't really clear the area, it goes back to Cadman who blazes away, and that summarises what we're seeing so far. Not quite working through the side.
This is a game of ping pong at the moment. The uncontested mark game needs to be coming out from both benches going, just slow down, we're going way too straight, playing into each other's hands at the moment. It's the side that can take the ball and actually just settle. Fast doesn't mean it needs to be back and forth, back and forth. There needs to be some sort of structure to your movement.
Shield. Long ball over the head of May. Himmelberg there for good measure. And taken over the line, Luau.
The Bombers only kicked one goal after quarter time last week. And they're yet to add in the first quarter here tonight. Green pursues it. Again, Clark is hard at the footy.
On again.
See, they've been hot in terms of dropping the ball or holding the ball just there.
It's against Clark a second time as well. Little chipping ball forward is effective.
And the shame of that, King, he's worked so hard as that dent his confidence a little bit.
It may, and that's where you need your leaders to get to the young guys. So keep going, keep working, because this is almost slapped out of his hands.
So he wouldn't want to go to that pocket again tonight. I don't reckon that's twice he's been picked there.
Spot on, King. That was knocked out in the tackle on Clark on that occasion. Wasn't holding the ball.
What are your thoughts here, Jono? Left footer, not the perfect position.
No, he'll go high. He'll nail this.
32 goals for the season with the confidence of Brad Johnson behind him. Nice looking finish.
Jono.
Brilliant finish. Called by Brad Johnson on the boundary, and the Giants get their second. Cadman opens his account. What a fine goal that was.
Gee whiz. And haven't they, mate? Poor Clark paid for a couple of umpiring 50-50 calls. First it was Green from this pocket. That's very unlucky. They're working hard, the Bombers. They just legs it a couple of times, some of their better ball users. Roberts has got to find a couple of targets. They've Pryor out in space on his left. They've just got to find that uncontested mark as they exit the defensive 50, and they'll be okay. They've looked really strong so far in this game.
It's a lovely little lead up there from Aaron Cadman. This is the evolution of his game.
What's the opposite of the kiss of death in terms of the commentator's curse? I haven't heard anyone call a goal like that. Jono.
So Tom Green managed to get a boot to it, and Merritt's going to do some crumbing here. Round the corner he goes. Aaliyah doing a good job at the moment, punched away, and Dersma will see it out. Well, great goal from Cadman, with 3 players from the Giants in the top 20 goal kickers this year. And that's his 27th goal in 12 games. The last 12 games, I should correct that, as the kick laterally to Angwin, and then chips it up in the air. Jones having to work at the front. It spills. Blackiston working hard for it. Jones just pats it to himself, tries to progress it, manages to get it to Stringer. Stringer barging and weaving, gets his boot to it. They could have raffled it. No communication there. And then ripped off. It was Brown. No holding the ball. Play on, said the umpire. Dersma slaps it on the boot. Shield with the fumble. Back to Merritt, and then over the top to May.
May, big frame, takes a stride, gives it on to Dersma. Promising build-up for the Bombers. All about entry, and there he is again. He's everywhere, this man. This time, chipping in front was Guelphy, and he'll get his second opportunity on goal.
We said they could have raffled it at half-back. No one bought a ticket to the raffle. And this here, I mean, Zach Merritt is a leader by actions, and that is getting back and helping out your defence. And from here, they were finally able to put together a piece of play where there was very little skill errors. And this is the difference at the moment. The fact that they moved the ball cleanly through. This man here is a very good forward and a very good negating forward.
4 goals for the season. Had one opportunity tonight when he didn't quite make the distance. This time from within range to break the drought for the Bombers. How their fans would love to see this. And the misses continue for Essendon.
Yeah, and it just saps the confidence of this Essendon lineup. They're working so hard. 4 shots a goal, none of them taken. A couple of drop marks from their power forward in Peter Wright. They're playing better than what the scoreboard suggests.
After quarter time last week, they kicked 1 goal at 13. They've added 4 more behinds.
And of those 4 goals, 2 of the goal kickers aren't playing tonight.
Doing this really well here, the Bombers. They're just holding them up, making it difficult for them to exit.
Whitfield.
Because they're slowed down here, there's so many numbers so far away from Lockie Whitfield at the moment.
His kick for Toby Green with a diving grab.
That's a 40-metre lead from Toby Green.
You can just see the space in front of him here, and even behind him as he retreats and misses.
Now that bounce could have been precarious, but Buckley neatly enough leaves defensive 50, grabbed by McMullen.
So the forwards have all retreated to deep forward, so there's gaps and voids everywhere.
McMullen down the line, in the Brown direction. Cadman in from the side, but it's been snaffled in the air by Peter Wright. 2-metre Peter has it.
Yeah, better by Peter Wright.
Plays on immediately, sends it down towards May and Aaliyah. Now Buckley measures the kick. Cullinan slightly casual over it. Guelphy brought the pressure. Does pretty well in the end, Matt Guelphy.
See, they're ready. They're ready for that inboard switch. They know exactly what the signature of the Giants is, and that's bring the ball back to corridor.
So Callahan out to Whitfield, and now O'Halloran. So With the hard work from the Bombers, they've been able to reach us to 4 behinds only. A couple of outstanding set shots, GWS. So the kick inside 50 from Cadman. There's going to be a free kick and it's played to the Bombers.
Again,
Redmond comes up with it.
A long, high, slow entry. The Bombers have been able to take their fast ball movement off them so far. Been terrific.
Redmond just hoofs it straight down the middle of Marvel Stadium. 2 on 2. Clark does really well. Takes the mark. Screws it forward. Coming back with a fist was Fonte. Bombers around the football. Callahan's the lone giant. Spills out to McMahon. Does well to release by hand. Kako got one high. Free kick was paid prior to that. Hold the ball.
Well, he gets on back, young Clark, giving away a couple of holding the balls, but earns one back for his side.
Bombers send the ball deep. Dersma will stay down. Big fly. Alier with the fist. Guelphy been busy. Roberts can't break the tackle.
Nineteen tackles to the Bombers, 12 to the Giants.
Opportunity here for the Bombers. Good pick up from Tom Green. It was a bit of a hat kick. And Wright is going to give a lot of ground here. He goes backwards to Ridley. And now Laverty. Next kick important. Little chip, coughs it up. Straight back to Tom Green.
Yeah, and Green says slow down. Exactly what you're talking about, Jack. He says, we're just going a fraction past here. Let's find some easy targets. Get the Bombers to defend for a while.
Giants +3 on inside 50s, 12 to 9. Essendon 4 behind. The goal kickers Green and Cadman both from the pocket. Diving mark. Spilt and it's across the line. England just looks a touch sore after that attempt.
So they're being defended well, the quick game at the moment, so they've got to have the other weapon to go back and draw them out, sort of probe through this Essendon defence that he's on and ready looking for a turnover.
So it was won by Briggs. An inboard hand pass. Callahan. A busy Tom Green. Skies one. Riccardi had 2 bites of the cherry. Couldn't mark it, but a free kick was given away anyway. Blackiston for the push.
Been good. His positioning's been really good so far, Blackiston.
Dishes by hand to Redmond. Takes ground. 60-metre drop punt towards the wing. Aerial contest. Buckley. Again, it's across the line.
One part of the game that the Giants are on top of, and that is the clearance game. Tom Green going to work. He's already had 10 disposals, 6 clearances. They're +10. They've got a ruck domination, but you see young Perkins on Green at the moment. Needs to shut him down.
Talk about the debutant in the Liam McMahon, but there are 8 players playing for the Bombers tonight that have played 7 games or under. Kako, as he pushed in the back, he's been done for holding, and then the kick out to Peter as the advantage was paid. Peter Wright.
Well, they just need some scoreboard return here for their hard work. They've been terrific. Their tackle pressure's been enormous. And they've been first to move, first at it. Okay, that didn't hit perfect. It's far from the ideal play, but they just keep turning up, as you say, Jack. Numbers in the screen. Big moment here for Peter Wright. He owes him this one.
Jono, do you want to go to work or?
What's up at 1? I think Jack.
So they've worked hard, the Bombers. Can they register a big one? No, they can't. They're 5th behind, close to the siren.
Well, the Bombers continue their tough run in front of goal. Last 3 quarters last week, 1 goal, 13. That man kicked a couple of behinds, and the Bombers have started with 5 of them. The Giants lead. Pretty scrappy start to this one on a Thursday night. 2 straight 12. Essendon 5 behind. The Giants 7 points to the good. Sport wall-to-wall this weekend on Fox, including Sunday morning from 10. Timmy Zhu trying to become a 2-time world champion against the American Sebastian Fundora. Must-watch TV.
All right, there we go. Quarter time, folks. It's quarter time here at Marvel Stadium. The Giants, well, they're leading, but Essendon certainly had a lot more chances. 2 straight goals to the GWS Giants. The Bombers, I tell you what, they're struggling to kick goals, aren't they? Last week Wow, let's not even talk about last week for the Bombers. This week, tell you what, they've had some shots. They should be just putting through on a string. Come on, Bombers, 5 straight behinds. Yeah, Giants in front. 5 points Tell you what, look, they missed a couple straight in front. Peter Wright missed that one there. He probably should have slotted. You know, the Bombers should have been in front. They started off the game pretty good. Giants a little bit in cruise mode, I think, here, of course, missing their spearhead, Jesse Hogan, down there this evening. Could be a little bit interesting, but I tell you what, it's always good when your spearhead's out. It just opens that forward line up a little bit different to the play, where, you know, most oppositions are really expecting them to, hit the spearhead pretty much 40-45% of the time. How many disposals does McGrath have? B3. We'll have a little bit of a look at that. We're going to have a look at that right now for you. But there we go. It's 7-point lead here. Let's just have a look at the goal scorers. Well, there's only 2 at the moment. I thought this would be a little bit more high scoring this game. Maybe as the game goes on, we'll certainly see a few more goals than behinds coming, especially if Essendon can kick straight. My gosh. Toby Green, Aaron Cadman, the only 2 single goal scorers out on the ground so far. And, of course, they are from the Giants, the Bombers. The Bombers, Addy, they're not giving Fremantle any help here. They're just not kicking straight. There we go, disposal getters. Let's have a look for a couple of those players. Andy McGrath's down there in about 5th spot. But Tom Green leads the way, only one on double figures at the moment with 10 disposals. 7 kicks, 3 handballs, a mark, a tackle, 6 clearances. Tom Green doing fantastic. 6 clearances already in the opening term. Wowee, that's fantastic. Lockie Whitfield doing his job out there as he normally does on 9. The champ's back. Finn Callahan on 9. Top 3, all from the GWS Giants. Disgusting Bombers. I tell you what, they need a goal kicking. I don't know why Matty Lloyd doesn't get down there, teach him how to kick straight. Because I tell you what, Matty Lloyd was one of the best kicks, one of the most straight kicks in the comp for a left footer. It was fantastic. Jordan Ridley and Andy McGrath and Dersma top the table for the Bombers. There's Andy McGrath. 8 disposals, 3 kicks, 5 handballs. That is it. No marks, no tackles, no clearances, no score. That is his so far. Angus Clark there for the Bombers, just on the 8. We'll need him up and running as well. He's at the 8, just the one behind. Got to kick straight. Jake Riccardi on 7. O'Halloran 7 with Zachy Merritt also from the Bombers on 7. Late a couple of tackles has Zach Merritt. There was somewhere else was asking, was it Ash? We'll have a look at Ash is in a minute. I tell you what, Jake Stringer, there we go. He hasn't said a lot yet, but he can do magical things. Can the package, Jake Stringer? 4 quarters, 4 quarters. That was only the first quarter down, so we're hoping from a bit better effort in front of goal from the Bombers. And, of course, I'm sure the tsunami wave of the Giants will come at some stage as well. That should be fantastic. Looking at Lockie Ash, someone was asking about Lockie Ash. Just the 4 disposals. There he is right there. All kicks. No tackles, no clearances, no handballs. That is it. Peter Wright, tell you what, Peter Wright should have slotted that sausage roll. He's dropped a couple of marks that he should have had as well. So just need to get him with a little bit more confidence. There we go. 3 marks, but he did drop a couple, so they're spearheading him down forward tonight of the Bombers. 3 kicks, 1. Just the one behind for him. Let's roll down. Sam Durham just on the 3 there for the Bombers. Lee Kalir, 3 there for the Giants. And as we roll on down, there are your team stats. Don't they sub key players if they're getting beat a lot? Oh, look, the subs, I think, we did have a look. Hang on a minute. The lineups. These are the subs for today. Zach Johnson from the Bombers, Harry Ralston from the GWS Giants. Normally they'll bring the sub in. Sometimes it can be at halftime, sometimes it can be at halfway through the 3rd quarter or just into the last quarter. If a player gets injured, well, then they'll replace the sub that way. Just because they're getting, beaten around a little bit, they won't put the sub in there in case one of their players go down, get injured, and they do need that sub to come on. If they did that, because they've only got 1 sub on the bench, if they did that, there'd be a man down on the bench, rotation down. That can sort of hurt the teams in the back end of the game with less rotations. So some players, when they're playing such a quick, fierce-paced game, they do need those interchanges to give the players a couple of minutes break on the bench. So that, they don't normally pull a sub until, at least part way through the third quarter going into the final. But as I said, yeah, if a player gets injured, they'll pull the sub there. All right, let's head back down to the action. Come on, Bombers, kick a little bit straighter. I know there's a lot of teams going for the Bombers tonight, and as we have a look at this ladder, those teams, of course, are Geelong, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, Fremantle, Western Bulldogs. They're all going for the Giants because the Giants are sitting there on 44 points, so they could be a danger if they just continue to win. Anyway, there we go. Let's head back down to the action for the second quarter, where it's the Giants by 7 points.
The second quarter, we can see some better skill execution.
So Toby Green and Aaron Cadman, the 2 goal kickers for GWS. A 7-point ball game. Second quarter gets underway. One down by Vizentini. Merritt initially through the legs, had a second go at it. Halloran grabbed by McGrath and a ball up.
And Halloran's the one that is going with Zach Merritt.
Briggs and Vizentini meet in the middle, a little toe poke forward over the top of McMahon. He chases it up, does well at ground level, whips it out by hand. Hand pass is a touch error, though Kako arrives on the scene with a bit of speed. Long ball forward off the boot of Smart, right to a dangerous area. Peter Wright for the third time tonight got hands to it, couldn't quite complete the mark. Whitfield will be under pressure for a while. The Giants standing up in defence and a hurried kick clears the area.
McMullen it was and grabbed by Cadman. So Cadman up the ground, so impressive. Ball down the corridor, hoping for Toby Green. Pry was there, spilt to Jones, and then that's a good kick right onto the sternum of Riccardi.
Oh, I think it just shows you the trust they've got in Toby Green. One-on-one, just drive it forward and give the little champ an opportunity to defeat Pryor in the air, which Pryor did really well to bring it to the ground, but Jones is getting forward unopposed consistently.
7 touches for Jake Riccardi. It's gone the check side, and that is brilliant. Wow. Goal umpire didn't have to move. That just caressed round the corner for GWS's third goal.
Yeah. So we talk about how aggressive they want to be, Jack, and the forwards are onto it. They're retreating back to goal as soon as the Giants win the ball. So Cadman, he takes the mark at half forward. Just watch Toby Green take off and go. He just wants to get forward and give his man a chance. Jones out wide on the wing. Merritt can't go with him. He just can't go with him physically, or he doesn't want to go with him in terms of attitude. He doesn't want to push hard and go and see it through. Jones has been out all day today. He really has. He just hasn't made him pay a full total price.
You mentioned going to Toby Green one-on-one. That's actually 1v3. That still picture in the ball hits Toby Green's hands. There's 4 Essendon defenders back there on nobody. But the fact that Jones gets to the right spot, the Giants have belief, and then a finish like this by Riccardi, who's been able to get his hands to the ball a little bit, still dropped a few marks, takes this one. That's an excellent finish.
Quality finish from distance from Riccardi. Callahan straight lines the ball to Guelphy. Ripped away was Angwin. Briggs just hoofs it forward. Big contest coming. Riccardi.
Well done.
Straight into the back of Pryor, who has no concerns for his own health. Stands up and takes a good mark in defence.
That's outstanding. Back with the flight. He knew what was coming and he still went. I still don't understand that. Madness.
Redmond has a little bit of time for a gallop, and then Vizentini met with Ash and also Briggs and out.
So you'll just see McGrath as the camera widens. You'll see McGrath on Jones. Jones pulls right back. He wants to control the fat side of the ground. So McGrath has to get his positioning 100% correct against the small forward who can go at speed.
Vizentini, Briggs. Applies a tackle, tries to get on a boot, and then brought to ground. So you're talking about the positioning. What does he need to do to counteract that kicking?
Well, he has to just play him like a true half-back flanker and keep goal side. Body check if you can, because he's actually drawing the winger up now. And Shield free kick. He's going to have to come back. He's controlling the open side of the ground at the moment, Darcy Jones.
So as you would have heard from the umpire, Shield gets the free kick and heads towards the pocket, hoping for McMahon. In the end, it was Kimmelberg who was in the road.
McGrath's in that little battle at the moment as well, where it goes, am I going to go to Jones, or is Jones going to go to the wing too? So it throws an element of confusion in there as well from a player that's playing in the back line.
And Jones is on the bottom of your screen, right corner.
Just on the D50 in the number 2 jersey. Right, 2 hands to the tap as far as Ash. Send the ball high to the wing. Good contest in the air. Cadman looks full of confidence. Green, a little toe poke. It's effective to Callahan. Back to Cadman. Ripped away from him by Luau. Merritt tries to zing it back the other way. Peter Wright again gets hands to it. He was absolutely monster. The umpire said play on. Here's the aforementioned Jones. Sends it down, but it is Bombers everywhere.
That had to be a free kick.
Peter Wright.
Yep, absolutely.
We'll attempt to have another look at that at some point as the ball goes to half forward. Smart. Off his fist it went. Callahan scrapping for it. Cornelio. Ash is going to spread it out to Angwin. He also had Brown there. So Angwin uses Brown. Runs hard. Low ball. Toby Green. Next kick, fascinating. No leaders yet, so he spreads it really wide. Had to sit it up for Angwin. It seemed to hang for a while. Laverty got his chance, and then it was pinched by Brown. Brown then just goes for goal. Wasn't really looking and missed everything.
Yeah, and players on in the centre part of the ground. Here's the Peter Wright one.
Yeah, he's chopped his arms.
Yeah, chopped the arms there.
Been unlucky there. But I like the way he's presenting to the ball, Jack. Okay, he's had his chances to take some marks, but at least he's coming at the ball carrier.
Dersman with the headband on. Whips it out towards the wing. Giants look confident in the air. Spills to ground, though. A bit of step from Dylan Shields. Good. Kako takes a bounce. And squeezes the ball forward to right. This time, Big Pete hangs on to it.
Well done.
You're exactly right, Kingy. You've got to give yourself the opportunity to get to contests, and I reckon Peter Wright, that is the one thing that he needs to focus on, getting to as many contests as possible. Granted, he's dropped a few early on, but service like this from Kako, using his speed to open up a lead lane and a strong mark, should have got the free kick only minutes ago, needs to finish this. Essendon need a goal. It's been over 4 quarters since they've kicked one.
The last 19 scores have registered 1 goal, 18. Is this the moment? It's not. Make that 1 goal, 19 going back to last week. It is just not working out for the Bombers.
I don't think it's helping them trying to get the wind out there at times. That's so disappointing and deflating for this unit. That was great work from Kako. To outread Whitfield and get on his bike, terrific.
Ash's kick was making Fonte work, but Fonte had time. Knock marked by Durham, and then eventually the tackle from Tom Green.
It's a bit of an epidemic here with the kicking, especially for the Giants. I reckon they've been peeled apart a little bit with their game style at the moment. They want to lengthen and get forward, but Essendon sitting numbers behind the ball, it's challenging them.
McCarty in the ruck that time. And a little game of twister. Cornelio just can't quite get it out and a ball up.
Just watch Tom Green at clearance. He's had 6 so far tonight. He just imposes his size on everyone. Ball in the ruck.
You're free.
Vigo was keen to hand it off to Durham. Vigo Visentini in game number 2. Sends it into the pocket. Opportunity in the air. Coming from the side was Himmelberg. Free kick going the way of Buckley.
So Rory, right now, this is exactly where the Giants need to go into prime. So just use Himmelberg up the line here. Make it short kick, kicking it long, and turning it over at the moment.
Goes down the line into the path of Max Kuchevsky.
I think that's great from the Bombers, though, to force them long down the line. I mean, they've been able to stop their flow out of the defensive half and forcing the Giants to score another way.
So free kick from the ruck, and it's going to, well, it's going to Visentini, or is it going to Durham? It's going to Durham. So Durham's kick.
Great kick.
In the end, through the fingertips of Fonte, grabbed by May. Aaliyah grabs him, ball up.
Just on a different page, Mert. That was a perfect kick. He was just expecting the Bomber player to turn. I think it was Perkins. Just didn't see it.
They break the run of behind. 6 already tonight for the Bombers. Inside 50. Ash can't make his way through the pack.
So again, the Bombers press. Right, pats it down. Here's a chance round the corner. Perkins, it's bouncing, it's bouncing. Iden somehow just grabbed it. Last moment, it was getting really desperate. Kick out towards Pryor. Pryor couldn't mark it, and he just pats it out to the advantage of Redmond. Then to Clark. Clark's little chip just over-clubbed it. He was hoping for Durham, cut off by Buckley in defence.
They just cannot buy a goal at the moment, Essendon.
It looked like they had one, and then Iden appeared and whipped it back into play. Flank ball. Clark. Now Pryor, opportunity for Wright. Buckley does well from behind to get the spoil in. Durham snapping, bouncing ball. Another behind.
And this builds on you as a player when there's multiple behinds like this, especially after last week where they didn't kick a goal after quarter time, is that they would know that stat. They would know that they've gone into quarter time and it's been 4 quarters since they've scored a goal, and that builds on you as a goal kicker, personally and as a team.
Jack, the last 21 scores, 1 goal 20. 1 goal 20, Kingy.
Yeah.
I won't get it done.
Not even convinced you can call him a goal kicker after that, Jack.
Gary Himmelberg, who is hoping to play his 200th game in the last rounds. From Ash, plucked by Ridley.
That's 50. He actually drew that really well, Ridley.
It was clever.
Yeah, Roberts split off. He went left of the man on the mark there, and Green was sort of left in no man's land, and he teased him into coming back just 1/2 of a step. Look at him. He knows he's got to get out, but he sees Ridley go, and he just gets nabbed.
Brad Johnson, come on. We need you here to break this. Guaranteed goal from Brad Johnson, the guru.
Time for this leader to stand up, back into some form, kick a big one here for your team.
Well, it's a moment because they've got 7 behinds. Jordan Ridley in 102 games has kicked 2 goals. It's a rare feat for him, but comes in from 40. And that's why he's only kicked 2 goals.
Welcome back, Jono.
The game style's actually stacking up for the Bombers here. This is forward half turner after forward half turnovers. The Giants at the moment cannot get the ball over centre half forward.
3 goals straight to 8 behinds, a 10-point margin on Thursday night football. Johnson and Roust into the subs. Nash backs himself, plays on to Callahan. Can they get this direct football that David King highlighted pre-game going? No, he splits it laterally out to Buckley, who's had a fair bit of the sharing. Wants options ahead of the ball. Sets it up for the athletic Brown. Rare highlight, good hanger. Plays on, kicks it straight into Pryor. Comes back for seconds. Now Angwin, by hand. Iden. Fonte sends it forward to Briggs.
So what can the big ruckman do? Probing ball to the top of the square, attracts a crowd, no mark. Stringer was there at the side. Tom Green's little paddle. Rachevsky round the corner. That'll do. They make them pay. Rachevsky's 3rd goal this year.
0-8 one end, 4 straight at the other. It's just... You feel for Essendon a little bit. They're doing a lot right. But again, trailed by 16 points. This ball just bobbling. And no one from the Bombers really went at it like they wanted to take responsibility, wanted to take control for their team. And you can understand that. This is what happens when you're in a rut as a football club. You lose a little bit of confidence. Just there. Perkins just not seeing it, not feeling it. Just sort of in the area, but not attacking the ball with ferocity. Look at it, just bobbles. It's just sitting there. Go and get the ball.
It's a good call, King. You look at the final play here when it goes over the goal line. Bombers players all goal side. No one at the front of the contest to support it.
We finished the Richmond game last week. Now the start of this game versus the Giants. 77 minutes since Essendon has kicked a goal. They give away a clearance out of the middle again. O'Halloran tackled at the last moment. Stringer, he'd love to kick a few against his old side. High ball clearing out of defence was Lachlan Blackiston towards the wing. Free kick.
Yeah, he's in his head.
Yep,
he's
definitely.
absolutely in his head here, Guelphy. He's got Whitfield reaching, grabbing, giving away free kicks.
Shield. Kick to no one really. Iden was the man in the hole.
And these are the little kicks that'll open up. The Bombers defending the switch really good. You sort of got to look 45s in the corridor. Do they start to open up?
Tom Green. This will hang for a while, almost. And it was Himmelberg who stood his grounds. Angwin, kick to centre half forward. Redmond, off his hands to Stringer. The boos of the crowd. Kick was shallow, Laverde. And then his kick asked the question of Roberts, and they get away with it.
Great mate Stringer and Laverde. And Jade denies he's made an opportunity. Cut off this time by Whitfield. Centre wing. 8 behinds to 4 straight for the Giants. 7 points at quarter time. Out to a 16-point margin. Bedford applies a tackle. McGrath can't get through.
Well, this might be the first chance the Giants have had a look at forward 50 stoppage tonight. They've had a ruck dominance. And Kieran Briggs, can they get something from here?
Oh, Briggs down to Stringer, who read it. Charges into goal. Unselfish. Ruchevsky finishes the deal.
Wow. Jake Stringer. That is awesome. That is awesome. We've seen him do this at centre bounce clearances over the last few years, but from forward 50 stoppages, I'm not sure I've seen him do much of this.
No, you don't see many on the flies like this these days, but he just opened up his little package spot there. It came through, and a shake of the hips. And this is Jake Stringer and his absolute problem. I love this. I think this shows where Jake Stringer's mindset is at coming up against his old side. Poor defence there. You're on the wrong side of him for starters there from Pryor. Is that he gives this one away to the young player Chevsky. And this actually shows that where his mindset is at, the team player that Jake Stringer is.
And in true forward fashion, he handballed it so poorly, he was a chance to get it back.
Don't mind that.
3 goals to 0 for the turn. Big Max has kicked the last couple. Celebrates with his teammate. 22-point margin, game high. Byzantini out-muscled by Briggs. That'll be 10 kilos, if not more, difference. Little check side from Green. And now Jake will get his opportunity.
Yeah, Green's the problem. He's the one that's out of control. Tom Green, 7 clearances, and that was all class. Great tap work, great connection.
And the booing is the loudest we've heard Bombers fans all night. Stringer gave the last one off. He's been in a rich vein of goal-kicking form. As Jake, 6-time leading goal kicker, 3 times for the Dogs, 3 times for Essendon. He's kicked 15 goals this season off 4 last week. Gave the last one away from 50. Stringer. Essendon cannot kick a goal and the Giants cannot miss. Jake's on the board. 6 straight to 8 behinds.
They get to him. They know what this means to Jake. I mean, he's probably circled this one in the calendar. Yeah, a lot of unhappy Bombers fans. He's just been so good to watch this guy over a long period of time, Jack. Pick 5 way back when. He's a moment's player.
Yeah, he is. Obviously, the 2016 Premiership a highlight in the Jake Stringer career so far. Spent a lot of time at Essendon, and importantly, the Challenge Ambassador. Obviously, he's celebrating that tonight. We saw the young kids running out with the Essendon players, but now he is in orange. He's a part of the GWS Giants, and he's become an integral part of the forward line. He's been used at sub this year, but he would have really enjoyed that one against one of his former sides. And they're getting rolling now, the Giants.
And as Howie said, no blip at the moment. Toby Green, quick hands. Callahan inside 50. Riccardi with a couple to beat. And Stringer was almost going to run away with it. He did run away with it. But it's going to be a free kick to the Bombers.
Well, it has to be 50. I mean, Jake's 3.5 seconds after the whistle decided to just kick it through. It had to be a 50-metre penalty.
So Blackiston, recipient of the free kick, long driving ball towards centre wing. The Flyers come, Ash stays down, retrieves it in the back of the pack, but turns it over straight to McMahon. Now the Bulldogs move, the Bombers move forward away from Guelphy. Whitfield, Ash creates a little bit of space for himself and hits Green, who's coming up for possession number 14.
He's had a busy night. That's to Cornelio. Cornelio back into the middle. Ash streaming through the centre of Marvel. That's going to be too wide for Stringer and also Ruchevsky.
Yeah. Lachie Ash's skills tonight have been off. Just looking like he's kicking at full pace too much. Needs to just steady down. Decision making needs to make sure it doesn't always have to be the hard one through the middle. Just the easy kick's the one for him.
4-0 for the term. A 7-point quarter-time margin is out to 28 points. Giants now through Briggs. The big man sends it deep, waits for the Flyers. Blackiston can't take the mark. For the ball, Riccardi, he's got a couple, and the floodgates are starting to open now on Thursday night footy.
Well, they're opening because of one man, and I don't know what you do about it. It's Tom Green. I think you have to go to a different matchup. It's his 8th clearance, and just have a look at how he physically imposes himself on this clearance. Lifts the ball above his head. We know that's his trademark. He's prepared to take the tackle and get the ball to the outside to his teammates. So he's in tight here, coming back at the ball now. Clean, hands up, outside, let's go. It's really simple play, but it's the 3 metres that matter. You get your teammate goal side, deep entry, anything can happen.
Came into the game thinking it was going to be a transition game for the Giants, and that was where they were going to potentially put Essendon to the sword. It's the stoppage game tonight where they're just mauling them at the moment, mauling them in the ruck. And as you mentioned, Tom Green mauling the midfield.
It's just Tom Green, really. He's had 8 clearances alone.
So again, Briggs, that was emphatic that time. Skies that one. Roberts with a couple of GWS players to beat. Off the ground quickly, only as far as Laverty, Ridley, Clark. And then the kick smothered by McMahon's, all going Giants' way.
And this is what the Giants need to do, though. If they're going to be a side that contends, you can't just have one wood. You've got to have an offensive form, which we know is their turnover game, but you've got to be able to do it a different way because you're going to be challenged by better sides, much stronger in the back part of this year.
Great to see Callum Ward after that knee injury on the bench, helping out his footy team. The Giants, another inside 50 opportunity. Spilled to the ground, just streaming through his Toby Green. Have a look at this man, just blots the copybook for the first time for the Giants though.
Starting to line up in the forward 50 now. I think they can smell it. The forwards on their bike, hitting front and square hard.
Pryor thought about going one way, goes the other. Kicks it to the hot spot. Himmelberg. 8 disposals tonight so far for Himmelberg. Kicks one, centering ball to the top of the square, over the head of Gruchevsky. Brown tries to pat it forward. Roberts immediately grabbed. Angwin goes into assist and out.
It's a bit different when you don't have Jesse Hogan in that forward 50. That you almost have to manufacture a different sort of entry.
Some of the walking wounded there.
I wouldn't be surprised if Briggs tries to grab this one out of the ruck. He's starting to dominate in there.
Caddy looking on alongside Ben Mackay. And a couple more Bombers. Shield. This is old side only as far as Ash. He wants options. Sees something on the outer side. Long ball forward. Just eased underneath it. Brown sees it across the line.
As of course, Caddy have to be a contender for the goal of the year after that extraordinary goal at the Gabba. So it's Briggs and Visentini, and it's going to be a free kick in the ruck against Big Vigo. Of course, we talk about 2 metre Peter. Visentini's exactly the same height at 203 centimetres.
He's getting manhandled at the moment by Kieran Briggs. And I mean, Briggs is a big man. I'm thinking that Peter Wright might be the better option against Kieran Briggs, and when Riccardi goes in, that's when Visentini can get involved in the ruck. But this man's having a fair game too.
And his breakout year in 2023 from the Giants Academy early on. Comes in and drills it. It has been all Giants in this second term.
Yeah, it's a big quarter now. 6 goals, 1 to 3 behinds. They've had their chances early, the Bombers, but Since then, the clearance boys have just taken over. And you're going to have to live with a bit of this if you're an Essendon fan. I mean, they're just outgunned, undermanned, and are starting to get exposed late in quarters.
So what's Vigo done wrong here?
Oh, he's blocked and hasn't gone back to the ball. By the looks of it, I'm not 100. Look, these ruck free kicks.
It was called Kingy just for the hand on the shoulder. That's what it was. Yeah.
Did you think it was there, John?
It's very light with what's going on around the contest, and they've missed a few already tonight. The little ones like that seem to think we should just let them play, especially the ruckman.
Free kicks. There's always one here and there, and they give away one that's play on, isn't it?
Well, he's been huge in this game so far, Briggs. Huge.
6 goals to 0 for the term. Peter Wright now. Riccardi. Durham trying to do something out of the middle. Spirals the ball forward. Opportunity. Holding Essendon, and the debutant. Can he break the drought?
Here we go.
92 minutes of game time since Essendon have kicked the goal. And on debut, Liam McMahon, who started his AFL journey when he was drafted to Collingwood 5 years ago, plays his first game, and can he break the drought? Been in good form in the VFL.
24 goals in 7 games, Howie.
Come on, Liam. Put one through the middle. Get the Bomber fans up and about. McMahon on debut from directly in front to break the drought for the Bombers. He kicks the goal. They get around him. Clearance will be up. Bomber supporters are up. Look at them. Finally some joy for the red and the black, and well done to Liam McMahon. That's put smiles on a few faces.
Fantastic. Fantastic. The mid-season draft has been one of the great additions into AFL football over recent years. This young man here, drafted by Collingwood.
Here's the President, Dave Barham. Come on, Dave. Give them something.
Just kicked the goal up. We've been 1 of 20, 1 of 21, but you can see the free kick here was eyed, and he wrapped his arms around him. Good positioning by young McMahon to hold strong there, and then has the medal to kick the goal. What were they, Howie? 1 and 21 from their last 22 shots.
Yep.
Yeah.
And every player got to him on the ground. The 13th debutant this year. Fantastic.
Good skills from Mum to not drop the Chardonnay while celebrating.
And there is the family. Fantastic stuff.
A bit spilt.
So Canelio out of the middle. Looking for the quick reply. Cadman takes a one-hander.
Now, this is the evolution of Aaron Cadman. You can see there. Just had Jordan Reedy exactly where he wanted him with the right arm. Sort of got into that nice, strong side action movement where you, as a key forward, you're sort of nearly tapping it down to yourself here. It was the clearance game again from Caniglio this time, and just positioned it to himself, patted it nicely, and a great mark.
So a young star forward on the rise, and that's gone behind the stick.
Well, Jason Dunstall was talking about the progression of this young man. I mean, 30 games ago he's getting pushed off that, and the Bombers are away on counter-punch. But now he can hold his ground and actually outmark an opponent.
Redmond, long ball out of defence towards Guelphy. Aaliyah with a big fly. Much talked about player is Aaliyah. As to whether he stays at the Giants or takes reported big money offers elsewhere. Jones caught in a tackle. Roberts hard at the footy. Whips it out to Merritt. Nice little step back to Roberts. Now Merritt's under pressure, gives up ground. Back to Ridley, who kicks in a hurry on the left. Over the top of Guelphy. A couple of Bombers spoil each other. Back to Aaliyah. Whitfield, and now the Giants can reset.
And they do that through Iden, then dodging and weaving. Himmelberg had a bit of space, but then the kick was shallow, and Roberts, who's busy.
Great pressure from Essendon up the field there. That forced the turnover. Himmelberg came back into traffic and had to kick under pressure, hence the turnover.
8 disposals, but didn't use that one wisely. Cut off by O'Halloran.
Has options in the middle. A little bit too cute to try and finesse the ball there. So in the end, sends it down the line. Cadman really jumping the footy with confidence. Threw a hand up looking at the umpire. No joy. Ridley, Merritt. Goes back towards centre-half forward to the dashing Dersma. He sends a long ball in the path of Loyal. Spoil comes from Fonte. Now McMullen at ground level. Back to Callaghan.
Callaghan goes wide. Bedford comes inboards with a kick. Goes straight to the Perkins direction. He has a bit of a thin area, and then McGrath overruns it. Dersma taken off it. Does he get a free kick? He does.
Well, he was lucky there. Archie Perkins looked like he took on the tackle and got caught holding the ball, but another opportunity for Essendon to set up here.
So Dersma spreads it wider, and it's eventually in the hands of Shield.
A couple of quick steps from Dylan. Sends it forward. And it's fisted. I mentioned Lee Galea a couple of times. Kingy playing his 8th game for the year, his 20th in total. How hard, if you're the Giants, are you trying to hold on to him?
Well, they've got plenty of defensive stocks, so maybe there's replacements there. But what a talent he looks like being. Saw him play on Shannon Neal last week and really hold his own. He's a player in the making. There's no doubt about that. But can't keep them all.
Tom Green, who's been prolific, won the football hands down there, took on 3 or 4, eventually to Callahan, Riccardi, Ash, and at half-back Fonte. They can continue on. He's got numbers in the middle of the ground here, young Fonte. Sends it inside 50. Over the head of Stringer it goes. Jones now in a foot race. Roberts had a couple around him, did it well by hand. Dersma back to Roberts. Tight ropes the boundary. Down towards Visentini, who just flicked it back. And that's almost a chuck towards Solbaya Lear. And now it's a real hot potato. What's the umpire going to see here? Nothing. It's going to be a ball up.
Kingsley pushing on his players from the boundary. They led by 7 at quarter time. And currently lead by 36. The last goal, the only goal for the Bombers by McMahon on debut.
That's deliberate,
Donovan, doesn't it?
Has to be.
And May just tapped it straight across the line. Made no intent to conceal it. So May gets the free kick. Good off the instep. Wobbles it forward. Coming from behind, providing the pressure was Clark, but standing up was Connor Iden.
So less than 2 to play in the first half. Fonte and McMullen. Now Ash.
Outside 5.
We'll just probe it around to Whitfield. That kick asks a few questions of Himmelberg, who beats McGrath to the punch. Toby Green, Cornelio, it was just a bit hot for him. Then Shield chucks it back. And it's going to be Laverde. And now Ridley streaming along the wing. Guelphy's cute little kick towards Merritt was good enough. And Guelphy wrapped up in a standing tackle.
Chevsky's got a couple, as does Riccardi. As the Giants hold sway by 36 points, looking for a 5th straight win, the Giants, as they continue their move up the ladder.
Giants.
And good news for the Bombers tonight, no injury concerns so far. The sole goal scorer Liam McMahon on debut for the Bombers. Himmelberg casually drops it back. Iden. The searching ball is good to O'Halloran off the half-back flank. See something he likes down the line. Well-weighted ball to Bedford. Wants to get on with it immediately. Sees something inside 50. Standing there, taking another mark, is Riccardi lining up for his 3rd.
Yeah, he just snuck forward on Peter Wright. Peter Wright was thinking top of the goal square to get back and help out his defence. Riccardi just popped himself into a nice little hole. And you can see Bedford just found it nicely, just stuck it in there. Perfect little drop-in kick.
26-12 last year. He's kicked 19-5 this year. For a 3rd after the siren. Riccardi just hangs it out. I'll look whether it's a score or not. Signal to behind. So it's a dominant term for the Giants. They led by 7 at the first break, half-time. Giants 8-3-51 to the Bombers 1-8-14. A 37-point lead, and after a 92-minute drought, the highlight came for the Bombers with Liam McMahon kicking his opening goal. But apart from that, Jack Riewoldt, there wasn't too much to smile about for the red and the black.
No, it's been all the orange tsunami here, and it hasn't been the way that we thought it was going to happen. It's been the stoppage game for them. Getting this man here, Kieran Briggs, in the ruck. Well, he's just manhandled Peter Wright and Visentini, Vigo Visentini, and he's such a big man. You can see that 10 hit-outs to advantage. He's the #1 rated player on the ground at the moment. 4 inside 50s for a ruck as well. But what he's been able to do, he's been able to serve it up on a platter to Tom Green, and they've driven it through, particularly Tom Green in the centre bounce with multiple clearances. And I mean, look at that there. At the moment, he's too big for the Essendon ruck. So maybe Peter Wright's the one that has to go with him. I know Peter Wright is predominantly a forward, but maybe he's the one that has to go to Briggs when Briggs is in the ruck and give Visentini the chance when Riccardi goes out there, or maybe they look at a different avenue to come in, because at the moment, Howie, they are just manhandling them around the ball.
The Giants lead it by 37 points. Callaghan and Green, that's 16 apiece. Ridley with 15, 13 for Dersma, and Riccardi's got a couple, as does Max Gruchevski. Jake Stringer's kicked one against his old side. Half time here. The Giants lead by 37 points. Tomorrow night we head to Brisbane. Friday night football. It is Luke Beveridge taking on Chris Fagan and his premiership lines. You'll see it all right here from 6:30 on Fox.
All right, there we go. It's half-time here at Marvel Stadium. It's the Giants 8-3-51. They're just cruising along. They are in absolute cruise mode, leading Essendon 1 goal 8-14. What's that? 37 points here at half-time. I'll tell you what, we want to give Essendon a big congratulations, because Essendon kicked a goal. Gee, hun, how you going? Welcome in. Essendon finally kicked a goal in their last 23 scoring shots, the Bombers, they've actually kicked 2 goals, 22. Can you believe it? Any wonder they're 1 goal 8. It's 9 scoring shots to 11. And it's 37 points of difference. Essendon having plenty of chances. I think one thing for the Bombers, I think they're just playing a little bit too slow as well. And some of their players, they're just not getting on their bike and taking off like the Tsunami. Tsunami runs in waves. And of course, GWS Giants, can you do face reveal? I've done that I've done some of my lives. If you want to see me, you can check out some of my vlogs on the channel. Some of my vlogs, you'll be able to see me. If I switch it around, it just goes all a little bit strange, that's all. But you can do that, a face reveal. So if you want to see me, you can check out some of the vlogs or go to some of my earlier live streams. I've done that. There we go. I might do that one day again. We'll try that. Gee, hun. Hey, thanks anyway. But the Giants, to tell you what, they're finding nice space down there forward 50, whereas the Bombers, they're just struggling to get that one-on-one, get that real good leading target in there. As I said, Peter Wright's had a couple of chances, dropped them. They were a little bit fumbly there, the Bombers. I tell you what, not as clean as the Bombers' defensive. At least when they were taking to mark the Bombers' defence, they're a little bit more clean, taking the grab. We'll be back with the commentators not too far away. Let's just check on over. Who do you go for? I actually go for Collingwood. I go for Collingwood, who's going all right. I think they play Fremantle on Sunday, I think. So they're on top of the ladder by a game and a half. So cruising along. Do you think Ash will over 22? Let's have a look and see where Ash's stats are. Tell you what, we'll have a look. We'll have a look, B3. We'll have a look in just a moment where Ash is. We'll keep an eye on him in a second. Jake Riccardi, Gruzwiski, is that how you say it? The only multiple goal scorers on the ground. Of course, it's from the GWS Giants. They both got 2. Jake the Package Stringer with 1, Toby Green with 1, Aaron Cadman, Kieran Briggs, and of course, for the Bombers, Liam McMahon. There we go, man of the moment. He's the only goal scorer there for the Bombers. We'll have a look at the disposal getters. You go for Carlton. They're in a little bit of trouble, the Blues. I'm not sure what they can do to fix them up. And we'll have a look. There we go. Ash is already on 15, 29. Hey, it's possible. It's possible. He's already halfway there, more than halfway there, Ash. So big chance. Hang on. Before I get into some of the stats, let's just head back to the commentators for a bit of an analysis on the opening half.
Didn't take them, and then all of a sudden the class of the Giants just got on top. In terms of what you can control, and we're talking about Brad Scott and the coaching, although they did really well, that first 40 minutes of football, didn't have much luck with the umpires, they didn't have much luck in front of goal, and they're down on talent. So I thought it was an arm wrestle for 40 minutes, and then class took over.
When you talk of talent, you do think of Jake Stringer, the former Bomber, playing against his old side for the very first time, and he has been lively and even gave one away in front of goals, which we don't see too often, Chief.
Yeah, it was a very ordinary hand pass, but he did. The intent was there to give it away, wasn't it? But he's been explosive, and we see this around stoppages. Often it used to be watching Stringer go into the centre bounce and he'd do this, but he's doing it at just stoppages around the ground, and he looks incredibly dangerous. This is the one. That's just an ordinary hand pass at the toes of your teammate. But the idea was right. He said, I've set this up, I've done everything right. Why not complete the package by actually giving it out to a young bloke and getting him on the board? Then he goes back, converts from 50. He's been impressive.
Their forward 50 looks really strong. I know Jesse Hogan's not there, Jace, but they've got enough pieces down there to really rattle
a variety.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Kingy, coming into this game, one of their rooms for improvement in the run to September is stoppage. It's been an area of their game that hasn't been too impressive. They tidied it up a little last week, but today the numbers fly off the charts.
Yeah, they do. It's been an unbelievable start this first half. 5 goals, 1 from forward half stoppages is their best since 2019. So it's an unbelievable night for them. Look, they've got all the aces in there. Let's be honest. They hold the balance in terms of power in there, Jace. 27, 13 clearances. And there's one man they just can't stop. It's Tom Green.
Well, we spoke about him Kingsley pre-game. He said, we're conceding too many forward 50s because we're losing too many stoppages. And Tom Green's had, 9 himself in the first half.
Yeah.
He's just, he's monitoring. He's got the big body. He knows where the ball's going. They're controlling it. I don't really like Essendon's setup in some of these stoppages. I think that some of them have been too easy. They've been standing on their own at some of these stoppages, but he's a star player, isn't he?
Bombers could do with a bit of goal kicking practice, perhaps. 92 minutes of game time between last week and their goal and then the goal that came tonight, and it took such a long time.
And don't call it luck kicking. It's not luck in front of goal. Well, this is lack of skill.
I wouldn't call it anything standing next to you. And you look angry. Look angry about some of these goals.
It's annoying, and you guys called it beautifully. It's deflating because you've done so much hard work to create the opportunity, and then you don't get the reward, and that saps the players upfield. The confidence of the player missing is down, and then the next bloke that's got a kick goes, oh gee, what if I missed? And you start having negative thoughts because everyone's been missing.
They should have kicked 3 of the first 4 opportunities.
Yes.
All of a sudden the crowd get involved. Away from home Giants, you can cause a bit of a scare.
Back foot, everything.
Panic. They couldn't move the ball and the defensive half. You had everything running your way except for this.
They're regulation shots too.
Yeah.
And I hate teams saying we do plenty of goal kicking because that's just a lie. Maybe one or two players do plenty of goal kicking, but not most players, because too many of them have zero technique when they're having shots for goal.
I didn't think you'd get angry Essendon versus the Giants tonight.
No, nor did I.
Well, it fell to the debutant, the 13th debutant for the Bombers to get the goal, Ali McMahon. What a moment for him, Kingy. So to be the one that actually broke through, had the cool head and delivered and executed the goal.
And he is a goal kicker, Jace. At the lower levels, obviously, but you sometimes just need a bit of energy. They all got to him. This is a great moment for the young men, Lee McMahon and his family. Look, they're over the moon. This is what the mid-years draft is all about, creating energy for a team that needs it.
It's exciting. And look, he's got a nice, simple routine. It's effective. It's nice and straight. He's got confidence because he knows what he's doing. And I suspect he's one of those ones that practices, Kingy, and practices the right thing.
As told by one of the game's greatest goal kickers. Listen to the man. What about the free kicks? It was hot in the kitchen early.
Well, they brought a heap of pressure early. They were up over 200 early, which is well above competition average. And poor old Angus Clark got on the end of one. Look, I get what the umpire's done there. He said, you tried to step around. That's just reading the situation and knowing that's where the gap was. That one, the ball knocks out as soon as he's tackled, and he's only just picked it up. And I think that was really, really stiff. So that probably should have been a free kick. You just see him push the right hand away. But, sometimes you've got to make your own luck. And the bottom line is we wouldn't be talking about that if they'd taken their opportunities and kicked 5 or 6 goals.
All right, Kingy, we're going to let you head back to the commentary box to call the second half of this one. We'll see how it pans out because you think the Giants need to put the foot down.
Absolutely.
And try and build that percentage.
80-pointer, Jason. That'll make you happy.
No.
Kingy is out tomorrow night, Chief. You'll be calling this for Fox Footy. Hugh McCluggage, 200th game. What a player he has been. Pick number 3 in the 20 he's 16th. I've never been All-Australian, which is astonishing. He's in great form at the moment.
And he might fix that this year. He's having an All-Australian year.
He may indeed. John Ralph joins us with some massive selection news out of this game.
And what about the stakes for this contest? And so they lose this contest, Luke Beveridge's mob against Brisbane Lions, Fremantle against Collingwood. They are 2 games out of the 8 with 5 games remaining. So it is break glass in case of emergency. Liam Jones is back. His first contest in the AFL since round 6. Nick Caulfield has been dropped. Sam Marshall and Bruce Reville in. So for the injured Noah Answorth with his Achilles and also Zach Bailey. So, this Brisbane Lions team is a little bit weaker on paper than they'd hope. Jason, you call your players soft, they best respond. Jason Johannesson in the rooms post-match said, okay, what was the first reaction from your coach, Luke Beveridge? He said, we were soft today. Jason, bring the popcorn. Liberatore, Bontempelli. These boys will be breathing fire, won't they?
Can't imagine they'll be soft twice in a row, Ralphie. I mean, that's the sort of motivation you need. Sometimes you think you're playing system and you just focus on what you're supposed to be doing, and sometimes you just forget the intensity around the contest. So they'll be fired up, and they're going to have to be because they're up against one of the best teams in the comp.
3 on the bounce for Brisbane. They're bringing the ball in quicker. They've beaten the likes of Geelong and Port Adelaide. They are travelling beautifully, Jason. Are you happy with what they're doing and tweaking their game plan?
You've got to be happy with what they're doing, and you talk about a slightly weaker team on paper. That may be, but they've got great depth in this squad, and the pressure is on. So all the players that get an opportunity come in, and they play like it's the last game they'll ever play because they're desperate to hang on and actually play final. So, it's a really good position to be in.
Ralphie, we will see you post-game for all the rest of the weekend selection news. Chief, we are about to head to Las Vegas. Our very own Jonathan Brown is over there for the biggest fight of the year, JB.
All right, while they're talking about that, we'll get back to the stats. Hey, Wilson, how you going? Welcome in. You're going for the Giants. I tell you what, the Giants are looking pretty good. As the Chief was saying, they've got to get out to a big win here, big margin here, the Giants. They've got to try and boost as much as their percentage. Just looking at their percentage here, prior to this game, the Giants were there, level pegging, with 2, 4, 5 other sides on 44 points. And of course the Giants percentage is nice and low. That's low, 113. So a good percentage boost here could actually elevate them above a couple of teams if we turn that on. 113, they've already picked up a couple of percent there. Of course they'll go a game clear, being the first game around 19, but they need to continue to boost their performance, stretch this margin out as much as possible. Because Hawthorn are down there like just a game behind, but they're still 1.1% up. So it's important for the Giants to continue to put Essendon to the sword here and put a margin, a really, really big margin on here to grow that percentage. Hey, folks, if you wanted to have a look at the game of footy or anything like that, B3ast or Beast, there we go, Beast. Now I've worked it out, there we go. I actually made a vlog when I went to the footy a couple of years ago. I think that was either Collingwood playing the Giants or Gold Coast, I think it was, at the MCG. So if you want to have a little bit of a look at that, the great stadium at the MCG, bit of the football, there we go. I dropped a link into the chat if you wanted to, anyone wanted to have a look at that video there. Looking at the stats though, Tom Green doing it well here, 17 touches. So that is the disposals, 17 disposals in total, which accumulated from 12 kicks and 5 handballs. He's had 3 marks, 9 clearances. Finn Callahan next best with 16. Lockie Whitfield, 15. For the Bombers, Jordan Ridley tops their table with 15. 10 and 5. Lockie Ash, can he get 29? Well, I don't see why not if he continues on his merry way. He's already over halfway there. He's had 15. And tell you what, he doesn't like handball. He likes a kick. 14 kicks, 1 handball. He's had 3 marks, a couple tackles and a clearance, but already on 15. I don't see why he can't get to the 29 if all things go well for him. Dersma there on 13 there for the Bombers. Zach Merritt on 12. Himmelberg for the Giants on 11. Dylan Shield, haven't seen him do a great deal tonight for the Bombers, just the 11. Couple clearances for him. We'll come down, we'll see if we can find Ash as well. Or unless I missed him. Hang on, let me just roll back up. Oh, that was the one we're talking about, Lockie Ash there on 15. There we go, Merritt on 12. Who else have we got there? Toby Green, always interesting to see his stats. He's just prancing around there as he does. Fantastic, 11 disposals, 6 kicks to 5 handballs. He's had 3 marks, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 1 goal, 1. So he's doing quite well, is Toby Green. Angus Clark, it'd be nice to see him get on the end of a few lace-out balls to him up forward for the Bombers. Just 11 touches, just a 1 behind for him so far. Andy McGrath having a bit of a quiet night this evening, just the 10 touches up until half-time. Jake Stringer, it looks the live wire out there tonight, even with the 7. Gave off a goal, and of course he's kicked one himself. I'm still not sure why the Bombers didn't offer him at least a 2-year deal, 3-year deal with these young Bombers. It would have been good to keep him in there, but you know, he'd be pretty happy. He's at the Giants in a team that's going really, really well at the moment, and should be, you would think, be playing finals this year. Peter Wright, not got his kicking boots on. Of course, he not holding the ball too well. As I said, he's got 4 marks, but he has dropped some. He did get the chop of the arms. The umpires didn't want to pay him that free kick for a shot on goal. But there we go. There are your player stats. Just have a look at the team stats. Let me just reload that up for everyone there. And of course, the Giants, they'll be in control of most of this game, you would imagine. They're plus 31 in the disposal count overall, plus 33 in the kicks. Bombers, a couple more. Would like to see the Bombers get on their bike a little bit more when they got the ball and just play with a little bit of speed and pace instead of a lot of the time when they get that mark, they just slow the pace down. They go sideways, they go backwards. Just go forward, go forward in a hurry. You've got nothing to lose. Just try a little bit of chaos football, see how that goes. I always like Essendon when they've got a bit of speed on the ball. They're playing a fast pace. There we go. Inside 50s, both teams. Well, they've had... it's reasonably even there. 26 Bombers for their 9 scoring shots, but wowee, 1 goal. Come on, Bombers. Giants, 29 inside 50s, 8 goals, 3. That's a lot better. That's where you want to be. Efficiency, surprisingly, the Bombers on top in the efficiency, 72-70 to the Giants. Free kicks, Bombers well and truly on top in the free kick count. They can't complain about that. 15-6 plus 9. The home team getting the good advantage. But you know what? The umpires have been a little bit ticky-touchy in some of their free kicks. It's still hard to work out what they're going to pay and what they're not going to pay. There we go. Giants doing the job in the hit-outs, 26-11 manhandling their Bombers. Ruckman may need to change that up a little bit. The clearances, Giants in command. They're 27-13. Of course, the centre clearances, they're plus 6. There we go, 4 times the Bombers' clearances. So Giants getting their hands on the ball and making it count. Stoppage clearances, they're plus 8 also are the Giants. Contested possessions, well, there we go. Pretty well on season average for the Bombers. Still need to keep going, need to keep lifting that pressure. You've got to do that. 66-75. Uncontested, well, it's only plus 17 there. And, of course, turnovers 39. Bombers not too bad. A little bit higher from the Giants there, playing a little bit of flamboyant football in their turnovers. There we go. 55-30 marks. Giants a little bit better in that area. Marks inside 50. Both teams getting their chances inside forward 50. Giants taking their opportunities. The Bombers not. That is the issue for the Bombers. Looking at the tackle count there. 34-23. Well, the Bombers are in front on the tackle count. Well, you know, the Giants probably got the ball a little bit more often. There we go. 23, that's still low. I'd like to see the Giants lift their pressure as well, even though they're in cruise mode. They need to stick to their guns, stick to their tackles, keep their pressure up and intensity up throughout this game, not just in sections that they play. Tackled inside 50s, the Bombers will be pretty happy with that. 8 inside 50 tackles, just about on season average. So they're doing quite okay in that department. Giants on season average. All right, there is that. We are just about to head back down to the ground for the third quarter. Can the Bombers kick a little bit straight and bring this margin back? Or can the Giants kick away? We'll certainly find out in a minute. Let's head back down to the ground for the bounce of the ball for the third quarter, where it's the Giants by 37 points.
Wayne Johnson, the rock on.
The Giants' percentage is up to 115.7. They're chasing Hawthorn on 116.8. Big second half for them. Opportunity to really explode.
So Giants by 7 at quarter time, 37 at half time as we commence the second half. Briggs wins the first tap. O'Halloran Tom Green. Callahan grabs. An advantage paid, so a chance for the Bombers. Gresham, Alir falls over. No mark taken. And it's Buckley's quick hands to Fonte and then Ash as they leave defensive 50. Straight back down the throat of Visentini. Another chance. Merritt, Gresham. Looks further afield. Dursma just over. Clubbed it, but filling the hole. McMahon.
It's a shot again.
Straight shooter.
Should have swallowed the one that came in first.
How's Mum going?
Yeah, Mum's
She's
learnt.
loving it.
No, she's put the Chardonnay down. She's learnt. It's all about education. Come on, young man. Finish the job. Good kick by Gresham there.
Provided such a great highlight in the first half after they'd kicked 8 straight behinds. Liam McMahon, such a journey to get to this debut spot tonight. Can he kick his second goal? Saunters in. The confidence is high. Well done, young man. And a little fist pump as well. He dreamed about playing football, drawing on a chalkboard at school. He would have dreamed of that.
Yeah, well, stolen from under the Carlton nose, as you can see the family celebrating there. And we picked apart the Essendon list and the 13 debutants pre-game. There's many of the players sitting up there. The turnover happened again, and it was this young man in game number 1, Liam McMahon, who took the opportunity to kick goal number 2 for him tonight and goal number 2 for Essendon as well. And King, you said it, sometimes some players are just better when the ball is quicker and better at the level. And I think young key forwards enjoy good service, and maybe Essendon have found one here.
Essendon have kicked the last 2 goals of the match, both off the boot of the debutant McMahon, much to his family's delight in the stands. Back in the middle we go. Can they drag it out of there again through Merritt? McGrath, little step, ball to be won. Coming through is Durham, nice little spin, good tackle though. Comes back the other way. Stringer, Green, Callahan, the big guns are lining up to the other Green. He goes from outside 50 to a driving ball, only as far as
So Tom Green getting involved early again in the second quarter. Out to Blackiston. So Blackiston, who worked hard in the first half, down to a contest. Iden has a couple of cracks at it, but it's paid the mark, played on quickly. Angwin's kick enters forward 50. Over the head of Riccardi, bouncing ball. Roberts, Ridley, McGrath in a bit of a pickle. Back to Roberts, who just skies it. It's an up and under. Merritt goes the fist. Angwin goes the mark.
takes a clever mark. Does the number 9, Ryan Angwin. Playing game number 24. 2 goals for the season. Outside range. Takes a bit off the footy. Cadman comes in from the side. Spoiled in the end, and the ball's cleared across the line.
You can see what Aaron Cadman was trying to do there. Use the contest in front of him as the block, but not a lot of movement in the Giants forward line at the moment.
Got to get physical with Tom Green here. You've got to get physical with him before the ball is tapped in his direction.
Shallow throw in, one down by Visentini, only as far as Tom Green, who celebrates. He's worked hard, he's racked up the disposals, and now he's on the scoreboard.
Nah, not good enough. Sam Durham, not good enough. Subpar effort to do the body work early. When you're playing against a man like this who's on fire, you've got to take away his timing and get physical. Doesn't even check him, just lets him run to the tap side. Perfect ruck work from Briggs, who's in full control of hit zone, but that is poor from Durham. Look at this, he just lets him go. To the aggressive side, easy hit, easy wrap around the body. This man's best on ground. By that far in this game, it's not funny, and you let him run unopposed.
Well, we mentioned the dominance. 5 goals won in the first half from forward stoppage. That's the best return in a half since 2019 from the Giants, and the story continues.
20 disposals, now a goal, going at 79% efficiency. 14 kicks, 6 handballs, 10 clearances, 5 score involvements and 4 inside 50s.
Contact Giants. Jones.
With the way of Tom Green, he might get another opportunity as they drive him forward again through Callahan. Pokes it into the forward line. Fist comes.
So you nearly got to set up a tracker on him, I reckon. You've got to have Durham and actually tell him to put some body onto him and someone else sitting off the stoppage.
Nah, it's not that hard, Jack. He is your matchup. Get physical with him.
He's manhandling Durham at the moment.
He didn't go with him.
Well, now we've got Dersma's on him.
Oh,
Well, Visentini down there in the ruck work. Blackiston's handball cut off by Stringer. Stringer kick to the centre of the ground. That's a beautiful kick, clearing the area, and Brown hit it hard.
So we've already seen Jake Stringer handball one off in the goal spread. Comes up to stoppage. Manhandled in the ruck again there, young Visentini. He's just not in that weight division yet. But Stringer kicks across his body to a really dangerous spot.
pressure's hurt.
And a fantastic mark by Brown.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble right in front of me now, walking to the boundary line.
So, Callum Brown looking for his first of the night. He's going to glance it across the face.
A real challenge here now, Matty. Real challenge for the Essendon team, who've been really good at locking the been able to move the ball out and then locking in their forward half. To stick fat here, I could just see them coming apart the seam slowly.
Friendly fire for Gresham there too.
And just caught one from Dersma in the play on the ball. Neither sub used so far. And is Rouston at number 24. Or Zach Johnson, number 40. 14th debutant, the young man. Going to put his hands up for selection.
That's the ripper.
I'll get down to Tullamarine Mondays. There you go. Durham with a bit of speed sends a long ball forward. It slightly out of position, but does well to move to the front. Just move to the front of Archer May and took a really good mark in the end.
There's the leg speed there.
He tracked that beautifully. I mean, the positioning was perfect. And this is where you can tell that the back six are well coached. They trust these guys one-on-one. They get their positioning right, and then they attack the football.
I'm sure it's going to be the happiest of birthdays.
Laverty from McGrath. Can they worry the scorer here? Kick to the top of the square. Kago with the crumbs. Bang! Through it goes. The little goal sneak. The little fella's happy, and why not? So Isaac Kago with his 10th goal this year, and it's back to 32 points.
Yeah, this is great forward half footy from the Essendon Football Club. The long down the line kick came and they needed to provide that contest and their balance around. This is excellent. You can see they are come back through the corridor there and access forward. And Archer May was 2v1. The fly from the front. You always got to be so careful. It was Fonte who flew from the front. Maybe he didn't need to fly. When you go, you got to impact, and he didn't impact. And young Kako was at the front, exactly where a small forward should be, where they earn their dollars. And he kicks Essendon's third goal for the night.
And of course, one of those 13 debutants early in the year, very early on in the year, kicks the third goal for them tonight.
My word, back in the middle. Merritt. Advantage paid. Merritt caught one high. He's a bit slow to get to his feet. Shield takes the advantage. Sends it forward. Lowell taps it into his own path. Iden's aware and awake and comes back with assurance. Puts out wide. Roberts up against the strong-bodied Brown, who takes a good mark. And it's in the hands of Callum M. Brown.
Jay Gresham back on the front row of the bench now, getting set to come back on.
Blackiston at the front. Ridley read it better. Good mark.
Good night, Ridley. 7th intercept possession, 3rd intercept mark. He leads all comers with 18 disposals for the Bombers.
Blackiston seemingly called his name a few times. His 11th touch to a contest, not brought down by Wright. Cornelio affects the standing tackle on Merritt. So Wright and Riccardi go at it, and that's wrapped up again with young Oscar Smart, second game of AFL, number 47 for Essendon, affecting the tackle.
Peter Wright away from Riccardi, straight to Smart. Little left foot squeezer. Pretty good down to May, spoiled away. Alir picks it up. Gets a free downfield. Go the way of the Giants.
It's a shame because they've actually locked this ball in a couple of times really well, the Bombers.
They play on immediately. Cornelio.
Oh.
Green's going that well. He's kicking 50-metre check side passes across the ground. That was something a little bit fancy. On to Toby Green. Now Toby Bedford. 70 from home.
Bedford. Kick to full forward. Up they go! Stringer!
Wow!
Wow. They have recruited a highlights package. There's no doubt about that, the Giants. And he's just starting to find his feet in this lineup. I tell you what, this is when you want him rolling. Back half of the year.
He can be spectacular at times, and his motor's just starting to run. Looking for his second round the corner and slots it. Jake Stringer.
Little smile at his mate. He was in Jaden Laverde's wedding party. I don't think he was standing on his head at the wedding, but he was right there and then.
He landed there, and there he was with a little fend off. Had a sneaky little look at the hanger. And it was an incredible build-up. We saw a check side, we saw a snap. Here's the check side, which is midfield or behind centre from Tom Green. He knew exactly what he needed to do to get it out to Toby Green. And from here, Stringer just sitting off the back of Laverde. And thank you very much. That's training bag sort of stuff there. And let him know about it as well. As a bit of a wedding gift, I would have thought, maybe. Great mark.
A couple of goals to Stringer and a big hanger as well. Isentini, slight fumble, then pumps the ball forward. Coming back is Himmelberg. May attacks it well. Trying to get foot to ball is smart. Still looking for his first AFL goal. Coming out Perkins. Eased forward, attacking the footy well was Fonte, and he kills the ball.
So second goal for Liam McMahon, the debutant for Essendon in this third quarter, plus a Stringer specky for the highlights reel as we forage over the football. Visentini's quick hands, and eventually Smart was cornered by Iden.
Marvel at the back six. They just leave them one-on-one, and they just seem to get the job done week in, week out, the Giants.
David King, Jack Riot, Brad Johnson and Matty Hill, Thursday night footy on Fox. Giants in control of this one. Moved forward by Chesky, who's kicked a couple. Now to Jones, the man with toe. Dishes it off. Another opportunity for the Giants. Good finish. They get their third of the term and extend the lead out further again to 38 points. Brown makes no mistake.
They got some variety in this forward line. I'd love to know his 0 to 100, Jack. He just gets to full speed in 2 strides, does Brown. He's a difficult matchup.
He's lateral to the contest here.
Yeah, but just watch when he takes possession, or just prior to possession, the handball received from Jones, who's getting forward all the time. He just drops the hammer. Boom, boom, boom. Cruise, bang. Pretty simple for the big man. They're good to watch, the Giants.
He took on ISO speed in the pre-season and was just beaten by one of the fastest influencers in the world. So he's got some toe, that's for sure.
Nick Jono's our highest profile influencer.
I love that Jono went to ISO speed.
Yeah.
How good.
Back in the middle. Callahan just tumbles it. Grabbed by Roberts, Durham, Visentini. Durham takes them on. And then his handball just had to get mopped up by Shield. Redmond. Wow.
He's hurt, Durham.
Plays on quickly by hand. Gresham's back out there, which is good news. Centering ball. May. He's a young presence up forwards, is Archer May.
Yeah, and I like the work Lowell. He just got the game moving quickly in the forward half. So if there were to be a teammate free inside the forward 50, they could expose them. It's a big man landing on you there.
every bit of 120.
So as we know, Essendon kicked 4-13 last week. This man, as we...
The Bombers need is another man out in concussion protocol, so hopefully Sam is okay. It looks like a pretty heavy hit with Briggs landing on him.
Yeah, I think it was the head hitting the ground as well.
Yep. Absolutely it was. Ash, long clearing ball out of defence. Good attack on the ball by Blackus and a good mark.
He's looking better every week, this young man.
Man out of East Freo, playing his 5th game. Sends it forward on the left and towards Clark, and there he is again, popping up. Durham will be going down, you'd imagine, to do the appropriate testing. But Perkins will get an opportunity.
See, this is good from Perkins. Just watch the body work as the ball comes in. He just puts a body on. Just there's Durham getting squeezed into the ground there. Just watch the body work. A little nudge just as arrived. Bang on the big ruckman to clear some space to take the mark. That's why this guy, he's got to be better than what he's been delivering over the last 6 weeks. He just has to be.
The AFL last week, subbed in or out of his previous 4 games of AFL football, Archie Perkins. 12 goals, 3, directly in front. He hooks it and misses.
Well, as discussed at half-time, they've had their chances. That kick in almost cut off by Smart. Made Fonte answer a few questions, and then out to McMahon, who stops the rock. Send it long towards Wright and Briggs. Briggs won the football. Quick hands Cornelio, dump kick to Redmond. As the turnover is affected, Kako, goal kicker in this 3rd term, sprints through the middle. To the top of the square. Mark in the congestion by Buckley. Good work.
Any concerns there for Briggs if Durham can't come back on the ground, Jack, in that tackle?
It's an interesting one, yeah. You think that he sort of pinned the arms, but I'll have to have another look at it, I think, Howie.
Perkins with the intercept, goes back inboard to Dylan Shield in the middle of Marvel Stadium. Couple of quick steps, sends it inside 50. Big boys fly, Ash stays down comfortably to Iden. Hurried kick out of defence, works out nicely to Brown. Wants to progress the ball immediately. Why wouldn't he, to get into the hands of Darcy Jones? Takes a quick bounce, sends it forward to Stringer, and all of a sudden it went from defence to attack in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, just got caught flat back there. It's Pryor on Stringer. Couldn't see the ball or his man. This man here, though, he is working harder than any other player on the ground there, Darcy Jones, and just saw a little point from Stringer into the blind spot. A great leading pattern. This man's lining up for goal number 3.
Coming up for his 11th disposal. He gave one away in the goal square earlier on. Kicked one in this term after taking a hanger on his great mate Laverde. For number 3, never looked like it. Just poked at it a touch to Jake and way out to the right.
The luxury of Jake is he can play a variety of different roles for you. We saw him at clearance before, burst forward. He can play deep forward and also be a power crummer. Such a great selection in the off-season.
Isn't Tini getting some messages from the coach? Meanwhile, Lual and Kako working together. Kako back to McGrath. Full extension on the kick and clunked by Smart. And plays on swiftly as well. Taken by Shield. Runs inside 50, runs laterally. Palms it off. May. Perkins. They love that. Something to cheer about for the Bombers. A good team goal. And initially, it was the mark from Smart who won them the football.
It was a big contested mark on the wing here from Smart, and then had the smarts to actually get up and realise that he was past the first line of the GWS defence and he could get it out the back, and he got it out the Shield. Dylan Shield nearly ran himself into trouble, but this is a really important mark. The ability just to quickly turn the head, have a look up, know that he's got a 1v none there. Beat the outstretched arm of Tom Green. I thought Dylan Shield nearly ran himself too far here, but a nice finish in the end.
Well, Perkins has run 60 metres there to stay involved, and he just has to be better than what he's been the last few weeks. Now, this reads really poorly, but we know what this guy can be. They've thrown him around a lot. But in the end, the right-hand column, where you rank in terms of the 46 players that represent, he has to be better than that. We know he's better than that. You don't kick goals like that. You don't take marks like you did before if you're just an average player. Need to see it more regularly.
Merritt off the ground and as far as Ash. So those rankings, can you just explain that? That's players in that actual game,
yeah? Yeah, 23 each team. So if you rank 46, you can't have a poorer day than that.
Yeah, and all 6 of those numbers were in the 40s.
Yeah, well, a couple of those games he come on as the sub and a couple he went off as the sub, but he's an elite pick in the draft. He has to find a spot in this team and fight for his survival in the next few weeks. But it's too easy to just give up on players. They've got to get something out of Archie Perkins.
Briggs down to Green, dominant player on the ground. Another entry inside 50. Stringer will stay down, doesn't get an opportunity. Good mark by Pryor.
Played 39 games for the Brisbane Lions Pryor before becoming a Bomber. Ball to be one on the wing. It was Whitfield, met solidly. Gresham goes without it. And a three-man standing tackle in the end.
Maybe look at this quarter. Essendon actually winning inside 50s, 13-10 at the moment. I don't think Adam King's going to be very happy with what he's seen from the Giants since half-time.
Dylan Shield getting some work there. So it comes out to Whitfield. And then his ball, good spotting to Stringer.
Left foot, no problems. What a player he's been. Lucky Whitfield. Now, Jono's been pretty good from this area tonight. I'm reluctant to go to him again, but we just might tap into your thoughts there, Bradley.
Maybe go on barrel. I think for James Stringer,
next year, he said, didn't he?
Can launch one. Traditional drop punt. Not sure he's got the distance.
So when he was a Bomber, his best result was 5 goals against GWS. Can he match that tonight? Round the corner from 51 at starting right and last line. Ridley's had a decent night at the office.
He's a good judge, our man, Jono.
Another win for Jono. Questioned the distance and was correct in doing so. Himmelberg with a big fist. Somehow the ball stays in play. Buckley gets it to a teammate in Himmelberg, shrugs the tackle, so something from nothing for the Giants. Back to Callahan. Now they can build the middle of the ground. They worked that really well. Ash spreads it further to the hard-running Iden in the number 39 jumper. Taking a bounce on the outer side. Marlon pierces one inside. Stringer, he's in a little hot streak. Dishes it off and missed Briggs. And Gresham should be able to get the Bombers out of trouble to Merritt.
So Merritt sinks his boot into it. No Mark May. He fights hard for it with Smart. And Essendon earned themselves a free kick. An advantage is paid. So they're off to the races, but that kick is smothered. Really good work from Bedford.
He's a beautiful kick, Jake. He might be the worst handballer in the game. He's had a couple of horrors tonight. It wasn't high on the list of priorities to handball that off, in fairness. But he just had to be better than that. They had an easy opportunity in front of goal.
Giants by 7 at quarter time, 37 at half time. 3 goals apiece this term. Still sees a 37-point margin. Ash gathers it, full-chested, back by hand. The athletic Callahan with an up and under to the half-forward flank. The big boys fly. O'Halloran stays down, does well. Toby Green, trouble here for the Bombers. Stringer again, he's in a little hot patch. Plays on, sees something deep. And Brown uses his body beautifully to take a contested mark against Dersman.
How good is the kick from Stringer to identify? He's pretty much in exactly the same spot that he's had a shot and he's been short. Turned around. And just the ability of 1 or 2 steps here to whip this one straight across the 50-metre arc at a really good trajectory to allow Brown to easy body up on Dersma there, protect the space and take an easy chest mark.
Started his football career playing for County Derry, moved over. Now he's become an AFL footballer for the Giants and he's kicked his second for the night and they just ease out again to a 43-point margin.
We've talked about it a couple of times, Jack, but if you can just cast your eye forward 8 to 10 weeks, this forward line, it's going to cause a lot of headaches, a lot of different types. Now, Brown can get you with foot speed, and get you at ground level, and get you in the air. He can play wing, half forward, he can come out of the goal square. Stringer the same. And we're just seeing different a different mix? Do you like their forward 50 mix?
Yeah, I do, and obviously no Hogan tonight as well, so he sort of straightens them up a little bit more. I reckon it allows Aaron Cadman to play off the contest and actually jump into the aerial contest, which plays to his strength. Even Riccardi just gives them a little bit of a different look forward. So having plenty of weapons, and there's 4 or 5 players there that can kick 5 goals, and I reckon that's what they've got that a lot of other sides don't have.
Harry Ralston is set and ready to go to come into this game for GWS.
So out of the middle, Gresham.
Stand.
Ash with the contested mark, as it looks as though it's going to be Buckley subbed off. Jack Buckley had that little issue early in the match, didn't he, in that first quarter, so he's off. That's not 15, so Bombers can press here. Canelio just works his way out of the trouble. Such a classy player. Whitfield out to Callahan. And now out towards Toby Green. Visentini with the big spoil. I think he did miss most of it, but out of place.
You can see what Toby Green was trying to do there, knowing that he's undersized, just to try and sort of shop early and get a little hip push in.
Buckley's played almost 2,000 minutes of footy. Top 9 in the competition so far. I just think maybe, well, hopefully that's a little rest, because he's the most minutes played for the Giants so far this year.
Could you go as far as telling us who played the number 1, or have I put you on the spot
Rory
there?
Lobbs played the number 1.
Man, never lets us down, David King.
I think he's in the top 20 right now.
15, I'd give it.
There you go.
Peter Wright, recipient of the free.
Good numbers for the Chiefs. Quiz later on. Is that still around, or?
Sure is. It's late though. May just eased underneath it again. Well done, Himmelberg. Takes the contested mark in defence.
Yeah, just a bit too experienced, aren't they? Just a bit too composed, particularly their back six. Just taking the lesser ranked bodies of the opposition key forwards out of the way.
Callahan over the top that time of Tom Green, and Visentini was taken by Bedford. Tom Green kept running. Stringer on his own.
He's going to go, isn't he?
He's having a look. I think you can see Toby Green heading to the goal line. But this is what's happening at the moment. The game is starting to open up. Essendon's defence was so on early, but it takes so much effort. The holes are starting to open for the Giants.
And he's having a good third quarter. He's seen them like watermelons. Round the corner he goes and makes no mistake with number 3.
And again, it's every positive offensive action comes from a big defensive effort, and it's the tackle here. It was Darcy Jones, I think, in the middle of the ground. Yeah, no, there you go. Bang, look at that. Boom, straight on him. Bedford it was with speed, just hunting. And it's just the gap where some of these younger players are not quite there yet. They're adjusting to the speed. Vicentini's he's far from the finished product. He's just not able to cope at that speed that he was asked to go out there, and the Giants right now are at a different level.
3 goals to Jake Stringer. All the importance of that hunt for the top 8.
All important there. 116.8 the Hawks, 116.4 the Giants.
Giants moving up the ladder. Picked up 3.3% so far this evening of the Giants, leading by 49 points.
That open field tackle is the hardest tackle in AFL to do, and Bedford's just laid another one.
Merritt continues to go all over the top to Shield, can't take it, ripped off the footy. Guelphy comes back, sends it inside 50. Good work, Himmelberg. The second intercept mark in the space of about 4 minutes.
16 touches for Himmelberg tonight. They work through the middle again, the Giants. Too hot for Green. Just fighting for it. Merritt was enough to get it to McGrath. Then Redmond blazing through the centre and lace out right.
A great kick. They've been a little bit blast happy in this third term. You just see Redmond see his great mate Peter Wright all alone. 45 from goal. Best way to defend is to take marks inside 50. Then you just can have a rest, you can set up, and even if Peter can't convert, you get the opportunity to lock the ball in your forward half.
Hasn't hit the scoreboard tonight.
Come
He's
on.
touched the pill 7 times. He's got no angle to speak of, but plenty of distance, 52 metres, and the distance isn't an issue either. So the Essendon sharpshooter gets one through, and it's back to 43 points towards three-quarter time.
You've got to love this, Jack, to just not have your eyes light up that you're charging into the forward half, and Redmond, you know, he's looking long and then just sees an unopposed teammate.
And Peter Wright's got the distance to kick it from 50 to 55 metres here. But you're right, this shows a sign of a level head in the situation at the moment. 43 points down, obviously not where Essendon would want their season to be and where they'd want tonight to be, but just to lower the eyes, be unselfish, and bring Peter Wright into the game. A really smart bit of play.
5 goals to 4 for the term the way of the Giants. They lead by 37 at the main break. They're out to a 43-point margin. Peter Wright's on the board. Riccardi in the ruck. Green, another possession. Number 25 for him. So the three-quarter time siren comes with the Giants leading 13-5-83 to the Bombers 5-10-40. 4 goals to the Bombers for the term after only 1 in the first half, but they trail at three-quarter time by 43 points. Sunday morning, Tim Zoo looking for his second world title. It was a bloodbath last time against Fundora, the American. Sunday morning, Tim gets a second opportunity.
All right, there we go. Three-quarter time here, and it's the Giants extending their lead just 13-5-83. I tell you what, it's good to see the Bombers put on some goals. 5-10-40. It's a 43-point margin here. Three-quarter time, the Giants doing it well. Giants in cruise mode, as I've said, all game. I tell you what, they just don't look to be under pressure at all in this game. Jake, the package stringer, I tell you what, he had the ball on a string in that third term. He took a few marks in that third term, couple of goals. I tell you what, he has been fantastic down there up forward for the Giants this evening. The Giants putting on 5 goals, 2 in that third term. The Bombers, 4 goals, 2. Here we go. Tell you what, that's the most goals they've probably put on in 2 weeks is the Bombers. There we go. What have we got? 43-point margin. I tell you what, it's getting close here. If you're a Giant supporter, looking at those percentages between you and Hawthorn, 115.9, the Giants have creaked that percentage up. 116.8 is Hawthorn. Tell you what, 0.8, if the Giants can put on a few more goals ahead, they'll jump up a little bit better percentage than the Hawks. There we go. Just let's have a look at the goal scorers. And, of course, it's the package out on the ground this evening, doing everything he needs to do possible. He's had 3 goals. 3 goals won the package. He's doing fantastic. Jake Stringer with his 10 kicks. Jake Riccardi, Koskowski and Callum Brown, the other multiple goal scorers for the Giants with 2 apiece. Toby Green having a ring-a-ding-ding game. Or I should say Tom Green's having a ring-a-ding-ding game. They both kicked a single with Aaron Cadman. Briggs all singles. But as I said, Tom Green, we'll have a look at his stats in a second. For the Bombers, good to see Liam McMahon there. I think they said it's his first game, was it? 2 goals. I tell you what, nice job, young fella. Peter Wright, Perkins, Kako with the other singles for the Bombers. Let's have a look at the disposal count. Want to have a look at Lockie Ash. You're talking about him getting 29. He's not too far away. Tom Green and Finn Callahan, the best of the table. Best of everyone with 25 touches, both from the Giants. I tell you what, Tom Green, he's having a cracking game. 25, 17 kicks, 8 handballs, 3 marks, 3 tackles, 13 clearances, and he's kicked a goal. Lockie Ash, you're talking about him in the chat. Can he get 29? Well, he had 8 possessions in that third term. If he has 8 again, he'll certainly hit it. He's only 6 away from that 29 you're asking me about. He's up to 23 with 19 kicks, 4 handballs, 6 marks, 2 tackles, and a clearance. There we go, Lockie Ash, third best so far, well on his way to his 29. Zach Merritt, the best for the Bombers on 22. Jordan Riley on 19 for the Bombers. Lockie Whitfield going swingingly throughout the game so far with 21. Let's roll on down. Andy McGrath's up to 16. As I said, Jake the package stringer having a fantastic game. I tell you what, he looks sharp out there. He looks fit. He looks good. Taking a screamer in the third quarter. You little beauty. It's like Jazelenko, you beauty. But Jake Stringer, there we go. 15 touches, 10 handballs, 5 kicks, 6 marks, 2 clearances, 3 goals, 1. And he's given away a couple of goals as well. And to his teammates, as I said, fantastic game. Dylan Shield, just a 15 touches there for the Bombers. Toby Green's up to 14. There we go. Angus Clark, 13. Gresham on 13, as well as we just rolled down the board a little bit to see your three-quarter time stats. Peter Wright finally got on the board there for the Bombers with his 8 disposals. 1 goal, 2. So it was good to see him pick up a goal. There we go. Let me just get back here. Don't forget, folks, football coming up later on this week for round 19. We've got a few great games coming up. Of course, Friday night football tomorrow night. We've got a huge match coming up. Brisbane Lions taking on the Western Bulldogs. That's coming to you live from the Gabba at 7:40 Melbourne time. Brisbane taking on the Western Bulldogs. Friday night football. And, of course, Saturday we've got Hawthorn taking on Port Adelaide. So all Giants, Bulldogs, all the fans up and around where they sit, they'll be cheering, of course, for Port Adelaide to throw Hawthorn out there with the water. Then we've got Sydney taking on North Melbourne Saturday afternoon, Carlton taking on Melbourne Saturday evening, and West Coast taking on Richmond. Sunday, we've got some big games coming up Sunday. Let me tell you about them. It's Geelong taking on St Kilda. The fly in the ointment, St Kilda loves to be the little buzzy bee, don't they, around the top teams? Well, I think Geelong will probably get away with that victory down at GMHBA Stadium. Of course, Sunday, which is going to be a fantastic game, that's Collingwood taking on Fremantle. Can Collingwood extend their lead on top of the ladder? Can Fremantle win and stay in the top 8? Tell you what, a lot coming down to it. And, of course, the final game is going to be a ring-a-dink-dink game. That's Adelaide Crows taking on the Gold Coast Suns over there at Adelaide Oval. That's going to be fantastic. We've got a great round of football still to come your way, folks. Don't forget, tomorrow night it's going to be an absolute cracking game. Brisbane taking on the Western Bulldogs up there at the Gabba. I'll tell you what, but talking about this game tonight, the Giants doing it well. As I keep saying, they're in cruise mode. It was good to see the Bombers doing a little bit better in that quarter, putting on 4 goals too, kicking a little bit straighter, showing a little bit of fight. But I tell you what, this Giants is a classy outfit with a good bit of experience. And I can only see this margin growing out a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger. Of course, there we go. The Giants last quarter goal surges 5, 8, 3 and 5. So we know they can put on goals in the final quarter pretty good. All right, let's head back down to the action for the final quarter. That's the Giants by 43 points.
So Zach Johnson out there as a result. Opening bounce, the margin 43 points. First entry inside 50 for the Giants. Redman at the back with the mark. Redman, long ball. There's Durham flying through it, which is good to see. Callaghan claims it, and it's a mark.
That man in front there, Finn Callaghan. He's got that aerial power in him. Big, tall midfielder.
Saw how tight it was on the ladder. They picked up 3.5%. The Giants, they'd love to add to that tally towards Cadman. Almost tunnelled under the footing. He lands and gets the free kick. Umpire saw it the same way, Kingy.
Yeah, well, there is no worse feeling as a key forward than when you get your legs from taken out from underneath you. And it was Laverty here who sort of just got underneath Cadman. I don't think he meant to tunnel him, but sort of got twisted on the side. But
well, where do we sit with it, Jack?
You feel so vulnerable in that situation there.
Is it illegal action or not?
I don't think that one was on purpose. It's dangerous. If it was on purpose and if it's deemed on purpose, then it's a reportable offence for mine.
Luke Beveridge spoke about it with Sam Darcy, about players getting into his hip when he was in the air and the distance the big man had to fall to the ground. So Cadman kicked 1 goal. We saw it in that highlights package from outside range. Just tugs it a touch, going for distance, and it's into the behind post.
I'm not sure that the out is whether it's clearly intentional or not, because that there, what else is he doing?
You need to see where his eyes are at, I reckon, to make a decision on that one.
First involvement for Zach Johnson. He grabbed.
So this is where they've gone to work tonight, the Giants. They've kicked 4 goals from forward, 50 stoppage. It's been Tom Green the hit too.
Briggs thumps it down. McGrath, quick work to Merritt. Leaves D50. Grabbed by Whitfield momentarily. Durham taking them on again. Not too worried about the effects from the third quarter. And that's been kicked out and given insufficient intent.
I think his arm comes forward. He tries to shepherd him out of the market contest. I think he's in trouble, Jack.
Yep.
Good news for Briggs, though, with Durham back out on the ground. But Jason Dunstall and David King, Sarah Jones will have all the wash-up post-game. Nice big long post-game tonight on Fox.
Good to have you on board, Howie. Captain of the ship.
I get sent home early. Down towards McGrath. Wobbles it, not too much penetration on the kick. Guelphy started well. Jones played well all night. He's just run. Gresham trying to burst his way through. Well done by Clark, though. He turns it over by hand. Gets a second opportunity. Ball to be won. Giants over the top of it. Now the Bombers come. Sending him forward only as far as Green. He goes back to Whitfield.
Now to Iden. Last link in the chain. Off a step. Towards forward 50. Over there to Toby Green. Stringer. That was neat. Little chip towards Jones. 2 bites. No. I say Johnson got a hand to it that he was grabbed. And eventually out of play.
Of course, Sarah's the captain of the Thursday night crew. Sorry, Howie, you've been demoted to vice captain.
Correct.
Come on, David.
Just for clarity there. What, you getting ahead of yourself?
Owen, right, wins it down. McGrath spun it out. Quick work from Green. And Rouston throws it on the boot. Essendon players upset each other, but they're also being held, or at least one of them was, and that's Blackiston.
I really like this guy. I think his positioning's really strong. 5 intercepts again tonight so far. Just a competitor. Found one here.
Buckley and Visentini subbed out, neither with an injury concern. Rouston comes in alongside Johnson. There's a bit of a skirmish on the outer side. A couple of players on the ground. McGrath's trying to rip a teammate away, and they're still going. Green at the pack. He's a big man into Archer May as well. Merritt comes to lend a hand. Too much in it.
Umpire asking him to release them. They've both got Hullum, so he bit of a wrestle on the ground there.
Ridley again to Blackiston. Coming up for possession 15. Going at 88% by foot. Blackiston to further highlight Kingy's enjoyment of his game. Ball spotted into Merritt, who's coming up for his 24th.
So, spearing kick, but the spoil from Ash. Set it up for Jones to get a touch to it, and then Stringer zigs, zags, beat 1 and beat 2. Came out to Callaghan, then Callaghan put the afterburners on. Handball to Jones, out wide back to Ash. Just backpedals momentarily, composes himself and kicks to O'Halloran.
How important was the contest by Stringer at half-back to be able to break 2 tackles.
Xavier O'Halloran.
This will take his best.
He's kicked 31 goals in his career.
He looks confident. He's going to have to get this to carry 56, 55 metres.
Captain Vic Metro as a teenager. Played his 50th game last year. 52. He's given it everything. He's given it a root. He loves it. That is a bomb from about 55.
That is an exceptional kick. I mean, we've seen players kick that sort of ball to the goal line consistently all night. He has smashed that. What an asset that is. What a weapon. That's gone every bit of 60 metres.
Look at Finn Callaghan, just puts the foot down there. This man here's been involved all night, and just this steady up, find the easy mark. And the Giants have been lining up in the corridor all night. It's just been their ability to get it to the corridor. And I don't think anyone here really thought that he had this. But Xavier O'Halloran, when he went back to knock this one home, channeling his inner Mark Pitney there. one with a drop punt. But Stringer, just the ability to get out and break tackles. When he comes out at the ball, especially the ground ball, it just looks so damaging.
Now to a game-high 49-point margin. 7 at quarter time, 37 at half time, 43 at three-quarter time, now out to 49. Dylan Shield against his old side with a high entry inside 50. Bit of pushing and shoving. Trying to keep the ball in play as Oscar Smart does pretty well right to the top of the square. The spoilers come the way. Does well to keep it in play. No, nearly.
Not in front of the GWS fan base at that side of the ground. 49 points the margin. We head into the last 15 minutes. Riccardi in the ruck, won the tap down. Iden, soccer skills off the ground. Toby Green with the mark. Didn't like the late treatment from Roberts. Let him know about it. Swings it out to a 2-on-2 out wide. Cadman spoiled by Ridley. Jones is the first there. The gather with the left hand was clever. Then Rouston, the 1-2 back to Jones. Low mung kick, grabbed by Laverty. Quick hands Ridley, back to Laverty. Stops props, out he goes to Shield. Little chip, Perkins.
Immediately goes laterally to Roberts. Had plenty of the footy tonight, Archie. That's his 17th disposal. High ball forward. May sets himself. Falls to Durham. Sweeps it out to Dursma. Runs in. Knocks it home. Good finish, Dursma. Good build up the Bombers. They kick their 6th.
Well, the ability just to come back through the middle. There's a contest again there. You can see Archer May has come off second best in a big aerial contest. Centre forward. A high ball that goes inside. It's this aerial contest. The Giants commit too. And it's Himmelberg that commits in the air. Doesn't impact. And the crummer in Durham, who was off with a bit of a head knock in that third quarter, was able to get the handball over the top to the winger. Dursma.
It could have almost been Oscar Smart, but he let it go. He hasn't kicked a goal yet, Oscar. Second game, but Dursma was in the better spot.
What are you saying, Hilly?
I'm not saying anything, Kiki.
I think Hilly's saying you should have left it for him.
I was probably intimating that, in fairness. Round the corner, Bedford. Green. Well, this is where he really is dangerous. Opens up the angle. Has them on toast. He's mercurial at times. And he kicks his second.
How easy did he make that look? I mean, that is incredibly difficult to do. And he just continues to embarrass players, this man. I don't know how long he can keep doing this for Jack. But that was an amazing contested mark for one. And then to be able to stroll around like he did. Just have a look at him here. He just works back. He knows what's coming. He knows this is dangerous. A quick look there just to assess the space. Robert stops. He doesn't. That's the gap. And the finish is just too good.
Crafty, and you can see here the three familiar faces that are out there tonight. One of them obviously on the opposite. Have a look at Toby Green. How young does he look? Oh my gosh.
Round 1, 2012, that.
The originals.
Jeremy Cameron still kicked the most goals, 427, but Toby's now up to 406 for the Giants. Dursma plays on, kicked the goal this term. Not much penetration with the left. Mullen, the chipping in is Joe Fonte. Just to calm things down a touch.
He goes to Cornelio. Cornelio just working back into the game after 13 weeks off. Was 3 times placed the best and fairest as a Giant. Callaghan off hands and knees, got it to Angwin, ripped off the football. Dursma, Roberts just off the ball. It's going to be a free kick out there going to McMahon. So McMahon, memorable night for him. Long ball, Kako at the front. Fonte was there, right, the tallest man in the contest, though, the likely man to take it.
Yeah, big mark from Peter Wright. Dropped a few early, but he started to find his hands as he's gone through the game here. Got a couple of shots on goal. This is Peter Wright, his absolute best. He's extended with one arm, separates from his defender, and in full stretch, big contested mark.
As you mentioned, Jackie's had a couple of pings at goal tonight. He's kicked 1, 2. So Peter Wright from about 35 metres out threads it through.
He's looked dangerous, hasn't he? Since Buckley's gone off as well, he's come into his own. Problem for them is it goes back to the middle of the ground, becomes a stoppage again. Giants have kicked 58 points to 8 from stoppage. They've been dominant. But I just like the way he keeps presenting. Straight at the ball, he's just honest. This is Peter Wright when he's in form. Just launch the ball, launch at the pack, and just challenge Leclerc to get the job done. And if he can't, you get reward.
I think it's the pre-work as well for Peter Wright. Just like there's the leap at the ball, but there's actually the 3 or 4 seconds before the ball's even kicked, and you actually use those long levers that he's got to extend and actually create some gap for him to come at the ball. That pass there, Leclerc just couldn't get near it.
Callahan's got to go off the blood route. 2 goals a piece for the term, with Wright second. Back to the three-quarter time margin of 43 points.
Got a big night, Finn. 29 disposals. It's just the workhorse, isn't he? The uncontested runner. Just 5 of his 29 won in a contest. So his role is to get back and link and support and create overlap. Does it so well.
15 disposals for Blackiston. He's had a good night. We mentioned him earlier on. 89% disposal efficiency, so good with ball in hand. Block. Gresham takes the advantage. Merritt sends it forward. Nice grab coming back with a flight. Hindenburg.
Just like to see Jade Gresham just draw that defender and break, give Zach Merritt the chance to run unaided or unimpeded through 50.
19th touch, tried to get it to Toby Green. It was a good spoil, but Cornelio was there front and centre, but the kick off the step taken by Redmond. So Redmond, a couple of players out here for the Bombers, spread out to Merritt. And Merritt's little kick towards the whale. Too far out to score from 52. Was going to send it straight to the hot spot. Durham there, just taken off it. Dersma crashes in. And it came out to Iden Whitfield with a little bit of pressure put on him. His kick was shallow. Johnson whipped the fist and then he grabbed it. It was almost a mark. Play on was the call, and now a stalemate.
The only way it could not be a mark was if it bounced on that second attempt. Oh, I reckon that's a mark.
Essendon fans agree from the booing. Angwin round the body towards the outer wing.
Not convinced I want Jack at the Ashes.
No, I'm with you.
Buff ball, you reckon?
Thought it hit the back personally.
Anywhere near the umpiring of the Ashes.
Gary, can we get a close-up on that, please?
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll it.
Gresham here.
Yep, Gresham gets the free. The former Saint spreads it out wide, hangs up for a while to Merritt, who's coming up for his 28th disposal tonight, the skipper, and copped a bit for his trouble and didn't enjoy it either.
Come back around, please. Come back on. Top right.
Had a chance to have a look at it on the scoreboard.
Spots it inside 50, a couple of Giants raffle it, and the winner is C. Iden.
Cornelio. Whitfield. Leaves defensive 50 with a run, and then I have some numbers here, but right in the middle, Pryor read it a lot better. Called to play on. Does so. He obliges, goes inside 50. Right. Just glancing through the pack.
All roads lead to Peter Wright. I mean, they just don't have the matchup for him at the moment.
He's in the ruck at the moment as well, getting ahead of the ball on Kieran Briggs.
This will make it 7 goals each for the second half. I think that Adam Kings will be really disappointed with the opportunity that was presented. They haven't taken it. The
The Bombers have.
So enjoying some shots of goal late in the piece. Peter Wright, as the game has opened up, looking for his third. It's going left.
It's a fascinating watch. Ruthless is what Sarah Jones asked Adam Kingsley. Were they going to be ruthless tonight? The first question. And on gut feel, it just hasn't been ruthless from the Giants yet.
Whitfield plays on. Clears the air out. Good mark from Briggs.
This next kick here, around the wing area, around the logo area, they've really battled with. I'm not sure you want the big ruckman switching it.
He elects not to, just sends a 60-metre drop punt down the line. Well picked up by Guchevsky. There's Ralston. Turned it over to his fellow substitute Johnson. Does well. Gives it back to Laverde. Now Dersma runs forward to the footy. Good work to make a good position was Oscar Smart. They keep it inside 50, the Bombers. They continue to press. Durham jumps on top of the football. Now he's caught with the footy. Somehow easing it out. McMahon goes off the ground. Might work out to Bedford. Goes back to Ralston.
So Ralston activated in the final quarter to a 50-50 and doing really well was
Big group.
Big Maxi over there. Ujevsky kicked a couple earlier in the match to Cornelio, and now Cornelio is going laterally to Briggs. Long penetrating kick. Stringer, Cadman, they both crashed the pack. Stringer with another chance, picked it up. Johnson in the end with the crumbing to Shield, kicking back to young Johnson. And he's got a little bit of the football late in the piece in that back pocket.
The Giants, Kingy, where do you think they're at?
I think they've really come with a rush in the last 4 to 5 weeks with the more aggressive game plan. But this has been a disappointing second half, to be fair.
They'll take on the Swans next week. Go inside 50, diving effort. Might work out in the end. O'Halloran, who kicked a long bomb but hooks it. Can they go deep in September?
Of course they can. They've got the game that can beat anyone. Always a constant threat. Clearance games in really good form tonight. Their ball movement hasn't been what we thought out of the defensive half, which has been a weapon of theirs over the last few seasons.
What are their deficiencies, Kingy? Because they were a team over the last couple of years that didn't really want for anything.
I just think it's... Here we go. There's an opportunity at the back.
Kick from Clark. Smart! Well, can we have another debutant? In fact, another player kick his first AFL. Of course, a debutant last game. This is his second game, but he'll be looking for his first goal to match Liam McMahon tonight.
He's done some crafty stuff tonight too. I've enjoyed getting the ball in a couple of times. See filming hopefully a first goal.
Yes, we've got a family on tender hooks here. So Oscar Smart, his kick will be a slight angle, but just inside the 50-metre arc, and just pulls it a shades. In fact, just registers a score in the end.
Obviously, it's a different lineup without Hogan in it. I mean, you put Hogan in that forward line, it changes everything. Everyone gets a lesser-ranked defender. The domino effect is huge.
Taylor back next week as well.
Brent Daniel's only a couple of weeks away, and they're almost at full strength.
Sydney next week, then the Dogs back in Melbourne before North, whereas Essendon take on the Dogs next Friday night, then Sydney away. Fonte. Chance now for the Giants. Green, so the Bombers will be on the big stage again next Friday night. Now Riccardi, who kicked a couple, goes inboard nicely to Cornelio. Good to see him back after 13 weeks out. Toby Green, good strong mark by the number 4. He's kicked a couple as Toby.
You see Toby Green just jumps just a little bit too early there, but actually does it to create sort of an arch between him and Redmond, who's coming in behind him. It gives him some form of protection when he marks the ball.
We'll kick it from just outside 50. Will the skipper for his third. He'll take his best effort. Doesn't really time the ball going forward. It nearly wobbled its way right to the teeth, and it's spoiled through from behind.
Cadman asking the question, thinking he was taken out of the contest as Ridley goes short to Pryor. Pryor to the wing, filling the hole. Perkins.
Mikey Ash just fell asleep there. He was on Perkins and went back instead of coming to the contest.
Johnson, full extension on the kick. Gives Smart another go. Well, he's had one-sighter. This is a little bit more acute.
So you're asking what's just slightly off. Lecalier has to kill that. He has to fly across the front and just take the pack with him. Small margin things, but in big games, that's what you're going to require. Outsider. Come on, Matty, get him home.
Well, we saw the delight, particularly the family of Liam McMahon earlier on, as Smart comes in, swings around to give it everything. He's kicked this right this time to try and negate the shank. He's kicked it to the other end for a behind.
Todd Goldstein looking on, they've missed him. Cosentini subbed out, hit outsized against Briggs. Langford in the back row as well. So many Bomber players out. Whitfield.
Oh, it was good.
He's a beautiful user of the ball, playing game 251, Lockie.
He worked for 80 metres there, Ash. Right across the forward 50, just to give him an option.
26 disposal for Lockie. He's short. Back to the man that gave it to him. The boot of Rouse into the middle. So patient build up. Now Green, his 30th disposal, had 20 in the first half. Callahan leads all comers with 30 himself.
Back on the ground after a momentary blood rule. Riccardi. Angwin. So GWS just looking for a little bit more icing on the cake late in the piece. That ball's going to sit up right at full forward, and a good mark, Redmond.
Should have done better there, the Giants. They had a little space to kick it into.
He should have done better too. It's been cut off by Bedford. Toby Bedford can go back, Jack, and have a set shot.
Yeah, not a great kick there from Mason Redmond. He was the one that intercepted it. The Giants had that little pool of space, nearly the Tom Hawkins space to kick it into, but got to stay alive here. You're always an opportunity to turn the ball over. Toby Bedford's defensive actions tonight have been fantastic. He's epitomised what Adam Kingsley wants.
Of course, a former Demon, played 18 games for the Demons, in the top 10 tacklers of last year. That's his assignment here late in the piece. Not quite.
This margin just lingering around that 43, 44 point mark.
Howie crowd here tonight, 20,347.
Nothing amazing on a Thursday night in the middle of winter. School holiday still here in Victoria. He looks a touch sore after that contest. Got a heavily strapped shoulder with padding on the top of it. You can see it there. Perkins through the middle. McGrath switches it all the way to the outer side. Johnson takes a bounce. Lays it off to Ridley. Had to wait momentarily for the ball. In the end, too wide out the full. Merritt looks back at him. A touch disappointing for skipper.
He was asked of King before if he believes the Giants are a contender. Jack, what are your thoughts on this team?
Look, I think they've lowered their colours a little bit tonight. I don't think they want for anything. It's just, can they play that brand of footy that we highlighted pre-game? Because that will contend against any side. Coming into September, they had the double chance last year and obviously went out in straight sets. So, look, I think they're getting rolling. It'll be important that they, I reckon, park tonight and go. They've fallen into probably playing a bit of the Essendon brand of footy. That maybe just look at this one as a bit of a mulligan.
2 minutes to go. Right down to Gresham. Weaves through the pack, and then that's a high ball. Durham and Himmelberg go up in a good contest, but Himmelberg, good mark, and then brings it out towards Callahan, but was cut off. Dersma read it really well. Hands to Perkins. Kicks towards the top of the square. There's no one home. There's just Giants Guernseys around and through for a behind.
Two goals apiece in the final term.
16 clearances to Tom Green is the equal best of any player this season.
This season?
Yep. It's amazing. 16's a huge number.
Yeah, Matty Rowell early on, I reckon, had 16 for the Suns.
Closing stages here with the Giants by 7 at quarter time, 37 at half time after McMahon broke a 92-minute drought across last week and this week for goals for the Bombers with his first, and 43 points at three-quarter time, and it stayed about there. Acceleration and brought to ground. Took well to release it by hand in the end. Callahan sends it deep. They've got a man out the back. He's run so hard all night, this man, Darcy Jones. King, you'd love to see his GPS. He's been up and down all night.
He works that fat side. He pulls the opposition zone apart.
That's his handball.
Well, that's almost dropping the ball. He's done a full 360, taking the ground. They'll feel a bit hard done by tonight, the Bombers, with some umpiring calls.
12 disposals and a lot of running. Doesn't kick the goal tonight. Darcy Jones picked 21 back in 2022. From directly in front, pokes it home. The Giants get their 16th and bring up the ton.
Yeah, you'd think some reward for effort there for Darcy Jones.
Do you think this forward line, with the mix we talk about, Jack, so their high half forwards tonight have been Bedford and Jones. Their speed's really important. Look where they come from. The top of screen, work their way back into space really quickly. Oh, gee, that's questionable, that non-free kick there. But the kick out the back was an absolute delight from Callahan again, who also does not stop running. They've got a few that I'd like to see the GPS on, Howie.
Just got to be careful as well sometimes when you do get hard forward like that, if the movement up the ground is stagnated, you get caught out of position. There was the perfect timing. Jones got out the back at exactly the right time and finished work, which tonight he's worked hard and deserves a goal like that.
So the Giants by 7 at quarter time, 37 at half time, 43 at three-quarter time. On board of the great names, the evolution of the Giants. So Shield and Merritt, who scampers through the middle, and then a little wonder Guelphy. The clock ticking. Guelphy gives Shield a drive-by. He's going to just kick it towards the pocket. Didn't hit it properly. Final stages. McMahon gets a free kick as the siren is about to sound, and there it is. So GWS get the job done in the primetime Thursday night slot under the lid, and they go to bed tonight in the top 4 of the AFL competition.
Well, in the end, it's 48 points to the Giants. I think there's plenty of questions for Adam Kingsley to be asking after a win, but they haven't won here for a couple of years against the Essendon Bombers, so I think they'd be happy to get the 4 points on a Thursday night, head back home and regroup. They had some players out there that absolutely dominated, and one man who dominated tonight was Tom Green, and he's without Brad Johnson.
Oh, Jackie certainly is. 16 clearances for yourself tonight. Tom, through that part of the ground, you really took control.
Yeah, I think, well, I'm too slow. I'm not like Finn to do it on the outside, so I've got to do it somewhere. And yeah, it was, we know to put them under the pump, and you've got to own the territory and get our hands on it first, so it was a real focus, and it was nice to hear it.
You were challenged early in the game. Yeah, they couldn't kick one. They kicked 8 points. You guys were accurate. Conversion was the difference, but they certainly brought a lot early.
Yeah, no, they certainly did. I think that's one of the great myths about footy is that teams are just going to roll over no matter what happens. Like, they're a group of competitors as well, and as you said, it was just we were sort of lucky, I guess, in the first quarter we converted a bit better, so they were really up for the fight, and it took us a little while. When
you look at the W's, yes, you're in good form. You just said you're a little bit frustrated then on the game. What frustrated you?
Well, we just didn't play for 4 quarters, which I know is a real challenge
challenge, but we didn't play the way that we wanted to. So there'll definitely be plenty to review in that. And yeah, it's a constant work on for us.
Plenty of positives, though, that come from individuals. Yourself getting a lot of ball. Obviously, Steve Canilio back into the lineup. I love Darcy Jones tonight. The boys upstairs did as well. The work rate up and down the ground's enormous.
Yeah, it is. It's a really big part of our game that's really important. You've got to be able to get up and back. And Jonesy, with his big tank, but then also his electric speed, you really notice it when he's getting up and back. So, as you said, it's great to see Cogs back in as well. I thought he played a really good game too. So, it's nice to, as you said, there are definitely some positives, no doubt.
And Jackie Stringer starting to get going as well. A big night for him against his old team.
Yeah, he was excited. He was excited to come up against the old mob. So, yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, you look how dangerous he is. He got so many looks inside forward 50, and with some straighter kicking, he might have had an even bigger impact. But, yeah, we've loved having him, and we've seen the last couple of weeks what he can do.
Certainly, Tom. Well, congratulations on your game tonight and the teams. Enjoy the win.
Thank you very much, Sean.
To Brad and Tom, 30 disposals for Tom Green. We heard about his clearances, 6 inside 50s. 16 clearances going at 84%, kicked the goal as well. And he mentioned Jake Stringer, who kicked 3 goals, 1. And as you mentioned, Matty Hill, the Giants are in the 4 momentarily. It's a little logjam there. A lot of games obviously still to come, but they've won 5 on the bounce now, Jack. They take on the Swans, the crosstown rivals, next week.
Battle of the Bridge next week against their arch rivals up there in New South Wales. Impressive performance from Tom Green today. You can see Jake Stringer chatting to a few of his ex-teammates there. And Essendon today, they're not disappointed. I look at Essendon and they've won inside 50s by 4. So they've had their opportunities. They kicked 0 goals, 8 to start the game, and that just compounded on their performance, clearly with injuries. And obviously the 13th debutant, Liam McMahon, who showed a little bit tonight as well. I thought Jay Gresham was okay as well, had 9 clearances and 6 inside 50. Zach Merritt continues to put up numbers and lead from the front. Jordan Ridley as well was fantastic behind the ball with 9 intercept possessions. So there's enough there for Essendon to go, hey, how you asked me what would be a win tonight for Essendon. I think they could pick through that and go, well, Ridley won his contest, Redmond was good, even Dylan Shield showed a little bit, and some of their younger players as well were fantastic. They were clearly beat in the ruck, and Todd Goldstein was managed this week, so you believe he'd probably come back in and give them a more senior body around the ball there. Peter Wright started to show a bit later on. So there is little wins through this performance from Essendon, but in the end, just outclassed by the GWS Giants.
And as you said, those little positives, just 3 less scoring shots than the Giants tonight, 21-24. And for the Giants, well, they've got Josh Kelly to come back. He's got the hip injury, of course. Jesse Hogan with that foot.
Sam Taylor as well comes back in potentially next week too. But
Taylor, Hogan and Kelly.
Yeah,
they're fair inclusions, aren't they?
3 big ins. The Giants just didn't look like they got their flow right tonight. So whether that's how they used the ball in possession was quite long. They actually didn't get the orange tsunami going. Handball receives were down for the Giants tonight. And that's where they're going to challenge and push into September and challenge for the 2025 Premiership, is that they need to get that orange tsunami up. Kelly will obviously help with that too. So, but tonight it was stoppage, and you can see Tom Green on. We've spoken to Tom Green already, but another man who was fantastic in the middle of the ground was the ruckman. He was fantastic. Just too big of a body in there against some younger rucks, and Peter Wright, not a traditional ruckman. Kieran Briggs. And forward 50 stoppage. They've kicked 5 goals, 1 in forward 50 stoppage, and that's a number that you very rarely seen. You haven't seen for a long time. 4 goals, 1 in that first half from the GWS Giants, their best since 2019.
And that man there, wasn't too many highlights tonight, but Jake Stringer kicked 3, and it was the highlight of the night. The ball went deep forward. He'd already kicked a couple of goals at this point. He was up against his great mate, Jaden Laverde, who we mentioned he was in his wedding party. And he just stood on his best mate's head and took an absolute hanger, and then went round the corner, kicked his second, and soon had his third. I think he enjoyed it, Matt, gave it to his mate.
Yeah, I think he did. Some bragging rights there, and then he went back and slotted it, and just a little bit of a rise smile as well after he put it through. But he was certainly seeing them well. He was sniffing goals, wasn't he, particularly in that third term? And
Well, he said pre-game to Sarah and Jason and Brad that he was looking forward to catching up with his mate, and there'd no doubt be a bit of chat between him and Laverde out on the ground.
Yeah.
And took a good grab on him, but what a player in this type of form to bring into September. He kicked 4 last week, Jack. He's kicked 3 this week, and he can do the X Factor things.
And he can, and this is an X Factor that the Giants haven't had going into September. They've had someone similar to him in Toby Green, but look, I'm fascinated about what Jake Stringer does over this next period and then into September. They took the risk on picking him. They didn't know what Jake Stringer they were going to get. They put the body comp clauses into his contract, and he's repaid them, and he's repaying them now. So he just gives them another dimension. We've only seen him forward tonight, but he does have that ability to go on ball and give them a different look through the middle part of the ground.
So you've got that X-Factor player in Stringer. You've got the man in Aaron Cadman, who's a work in progress, who is going to be a star of the future. And then, as we mentioned, Jesse Hogan, the sharpshooter.
He'll throw in the skipper and Riccardi as well, and it's a explosive forward line. So the Giants will come into their rooms. They started around 7th on the ladder. They've moved up momentarily to 4th. They've gone now 12 and 6 and boosted their percentage, the Giants. So they'll be happy. No injury concerns. None for either side, which is good news for the Bombers. But the Giants, on a rare Thursday night opportunity, get the job done over the Bombers by 48 points. Plenty to come with Sarah, Jason, Brad and Kingy in the post-game. But now we'll go to the rooms and hear the song.
Big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. The ground is shaking, the other team is breaking, the boots before the Giants. The longest strides and the highest edge, the stronger than the rest. The greater Western City Giants, the biggest, and we will never surrender. On to the end, we're greater than
All right, folks, there we go. Game, set, and match. The Giants by 48 points. I think, you know what? I think my prediction at the start was Giants by 47, so it was pretty close, Eddie G. It was pretty close. 16-8, 104, defeating the Bombers 7-14, 56. Of course, 2 goals for the Bombers put in on that final term. 3 goals, 3 for the Giants. I tell you what, the Bombers actually didn't do too bad after half-time. After half-time, they put on 6 goals, 6. The Giants put on, 8 goals, 5. So it was a little bit closer, as we can see here. Reasonably tight in that first, but all the damage was done in the second. It was just cruise mode by the Giants. You know what? Look, the Giants were in total control of the game tonight. Even though it was 21 scoring shots to 24. I think the Giants, even though they came away with a win, I think they'll be a little bit disappointed that they just couldn't do a little bit better, keep the pressure on and get this margin out to a little bit more. So I'm sure there's going to be a better review here. Let's just head on down to have a listen to hear what the GWS Giants coach has to say.
I thought I was really pleased with the win. It's obviously really important to come down and get the win, get the result. I thought we played well around the stoppage game for the most part, particularly first half. I thought we let ourselves down a little bit centre bounce second half. A transition game wasn't quite at the level that we would like it, but that's okay. We'll keep working on that.
Still some signs in the second half. That transition you talk about from defence to attack seemed to improve in the second half at least.
Yeah, we identified it at half time. We just weren't playing our way well enough.
Yep.
One back half goal to half time off turnover was not quite at our level really. So we made a concerted effort to try and tidy that up.
So straight after the game, your immediate thoughts are, yep, bank the win. Does the margin come into your mind at all? Do you think about how tight the competition is? Is it a factor at all?
Oh, I think it definitely is a factor. I mean, we sit with one of the lower percentages in that top 9, and so we need to try and maximise every opportunity that comes our way. I don't know what the percentage will be now, but I mean, if we keep winning, that probably is more important than percentage. So we're fairly squared and focused on winning games and making sure we've won 5 in a row. We've beaten 3 of the top 8 teams in the last 5 weeks. We feel like we're going okay.
winning is key, but it could also come down to the fact that percentage might separate 8th and 9th.
Yeah.
Is percentage something you can talk to players about?
Yeah, we have. The danger is you think about percentage and you think, we've got to attack, we've got to score, we've got to do this, and it's not quite like that. And so we've spoken about it, but then you bring your attention back to what's required, defence, contest, and then look to attack off the back of that. And so that's pretty much the method that we speak about.
See Jake Stringer out there tonight doing what Jake does, in bursts, hit the scoreboard, create havoc. That clearance goal was huge just to get some momentum going. What do you see that we're not seeing?
Oh, well, I think you're seeing it. I think you're seeing his intent to chase tackle. I think you're seeing the selfless, he's running into open goal, he handballs to the guy in the goal square. He's got that, that mercurial feel about him that he can just kick a great goal, particularly when we need it. He's a pretty difficult matchup ahead of the ball. If you play small on him, he can mark the ball. If you play tall, he can get to work on the ground level and complements Toby Green really well. So, I like his work ethic. I like the attention to detail around role that he's playing for us, and the rewards are coming on the back of super diligence to that.
Did like the one that he gave away, although he could possibly work on the hand pass, not bounce it into the player that's actually standing in the square. Jack Buckley subbed out, just had a little niggle early. That was just to avoid any risk.
Just to avoid, he hurt his ankle against the West Coast game. It was pretty bad. He did an amazing effort to get up last week to the Cats, and then a 5-day break into this game. We thought we'd just take an extra little bit as just to try and spell that ankle and get him right. We've got an 8-day break now into the Swans next Friday night, so we're really looking forward to that game, and he needs to be cherry ripe for that.
Huge game against the Sydney Swans. Who are you likely to get back? We know you rested a few.
We'll get Hogan, Kelly and Taylor back, I would expect. So that'll put a bit of squeeze on the team in terms of spots, but that's a good position for us to be in. And, it's going to be a big game against the Swans. We haven't beaten them for a long while, so it's something that's going to be really important to us.
It is a marathon, and you've got to peak at the right time and time your run. Do you feel like you're timing your run?
I think so. I mean, we've still got some reasonably hard games. I'm looking at that graphic, three top teams. I call Sydney a top team because I think they are, but it's still a pretty solid run. So we've got to play really good footy to win those games. But I feel like we play our best footy when it matters the most, and we typically build into the finals. We've still got work to do to qualify, but as I said, 5 games in a row, 3 top 8 teams in that run. I feel like we're building at the right time. We've got to just continue to keep refining our game, keep fixing little issues that we have, and keep challenging the opposition the way that we do.
Plenty of reason for the coach to smile. Well done tonight. Enjoy the build-up to the big Sydney game. We'll see you soon on Fox Footy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, our
All right, well, there we go. There was the coach of the Giants. Before we wrap this one up, folks, we'd just like to say thanks, everyone, for coming on in. Of course, we'll just run through some of these stats and the goal scorers for the conclusion of this game. And, of course, Jake Stringer, the package, he was best out on the ground with 3 goals there for the Giants. Jake Riccardi, Gruiewski, I think that's how you say it, Toby Green, Callum Brown, both all with 2 goals there for the Giants. O'Halloran, Darcy Jones, Tom Green, of course, Aaron Cadman and Kieran bring singles for the Giants. For the Bombers, Peter Wright ended up with 2 with Liam McMahon, Archie Perkins with a single with Kako, and Dersma, there are your goal scorers for out on the ground. Just having a look at the leading disposal getter on the ground. There was only 2 that hit 30. Finn Callahan was the best out there on the ground from the Giants with 33, 2 clearances. Tom Green had a cracking game, 30 touches, 19 kicks, 11 handballs, 16 clearances. I think that's equal record for this season. Well done. And a goal for Tom Green. Lockie Whitfield with 29. Zach Merritt, the best for the Bombers on 29 touches, 4 clearances. Not too bad. Lockie Ash, well, he didn't quite reach that 29 that we were looking for. He hit 27, 23 kicks, 4 handballs. Harry Himmelberg with 23. Dylan Shield, 21. Mason Redmond, 22 there for the Bombers. Andy McGrath ended up with 20 with Dersman. Not too bad for them. Jake the Stringer, the package, that they were just talking about, like the way he goes about his football. I tell you what, he certainly livened up since getting up to the Giants. Certainly looks fit and healthy. 18 touches, 10 kicks, 3 goals, 1, 2 clearances. Fantastic game from Jake Stringer. Archie Roberts with 17 touches for the Bombers. Who else we got there? Let's have a look. Toby Green, his stats were 17, 11 kicks, 6 handballs, 7 marks, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 2 goals, 1. So he did quite well, did Toby Green. Peter Wright ended up kicking a couple, 2 goals, 3 from his 11 disposals, 16 hit-outs. Kieran Briggs there for the Giants, 29 hit-outs with his 11 possessions, 3 clearances. So he did reasonably well with that as well. There are your player stats. Let's just duck on over and have a look at the team stats. Let me just reload this up. And then we'll just see where the Giants are sitting on the ladder. After all that, it was the Giants by 53 in the disposal count overall. Inside 50s, Essendon actually got on top there. It was 57 inside 50s, 53 the Giants. Yeah, look, just the kicking certainly let the Bombers down there, kicking that inaccuracy, 8 straights behind to start the game off. And I think the Giants were about 6 straight goals to start the game off. It certainly hurts. That's why I'm always saying, folks, hey, you got to kick straight. I'll tell you what, the free kick count certainly went the Bombers' way this evening. 25 free kicks to the Bombers, only 11 to the Giants. Wow, there we go. They certainly got the better of that. They were plus 14 in the free kick count. The hit-outs, the Giants took that out. They were plus 17 there. They were plus 10 in the clearances. Centre clearances were pretty tight, 12 to 13. Giants plus 1, but they were plus 9 in the stoppage clearances around the ball. Contested possessions, not much in that, just a plus 8 to the Giants. Uncontested, just taking control, the Giants, getting that nice easy ball there. There we go, they were plus 37 there. Of course, that's going to be transponded into the marks, where they were plus 39 in the marks. Plus marks inside 50, both teams actually had a fair chop at this, 14 to 16, plus 2 to the Giants. As I said, both teams had their opportunity. Great to see. Contested marking was high on the agenda tonight, 13 to 18. Just looking at the tackle count, as I was saying at three-quarter time, the tackle count was very low from both sides, 49 to 41. That's super low. The Bombers got the best of that plus 8. The Giants will need to increase that running into the final, handful of games or so of the home and away season, especially before they get into the final series. They'll certainly want to work on the area of their pressure and keep that lifted. As they were talking, Tom Green, I think, was saying they didn't quite play out 4 quarters of football. And they'll certainly have a fair bit to review in this game this evening. Tackles inside 50. Bombers a little bit better, 9 to 6. Just looking at the ladder, once this reloads up, there we go. So after tonight's game, we do see the Giants in the top 4. There we go. Can you imagine 1 Victorian side and 3 interstate sides in the top 4? Giants move up the ladder. Of course, that percentage is still a little bit iffy there at 116. Of course, the Geelong Cats, who play, I think they play St Kilda, they should have a win. They'll probably rise above the Giants. And of course, Hawthorn down there, it'll be interesting to see how they perform. They're at 116.8. They're only 0.8% more than the Giants. So if Hawthorn win, I'll tell you what, that's going to bring this right back tight again. Absolutely. Of course, the Gold Coast Suns, they've got Adelaide to play on Sunday, so that's going to be a tough match for them. And of course, Adelaide sitting up there in third. Fremantle, of course, taking on the league ladders Collingwood, so that's a must-win for them. And of course, the Bulldogs tomorrow night playing Brisbane. So I tell you what, we've got some fantastic games happening for round 19. And of course, tomorrow night, that is 7:30 p.m. We should be kicking off live again with the next game, Friday night football. That's the Brisbane Lions taking on the Western Bulldogs. I tell you what, this is close to one of the match of the rounds. But then again, you've got Adelaide and Gold Coast, which is going to be close to match of the round. Of course, you've got Collingwood Fremantle, which is going to be another cracking game also. So they're games you certainly don't want to miss them. You want to certainly tune on in to those games, but it should be absolutely fantastic. We did have the vote in here tonight, and of course 64% went for the Giants. We must have had a few Essendon supporters, or the people supporting Essendon to win, so Freo could remain that game clear. Addy, there we go. We'll certainly see how the rest of the games go, especially for Freo. But hey, you know what we keep saying? As the coach of the Giants said, you've got to worry about winning. That's the most important bit. Winning games to keep you up there, give you the 4 points. All right, folks, hey, that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everyone for coming on in, tuning on to the coverage of the game here, where the Giants were just too strong for the Bombers by 48 points. Tell you what, if you reverse the Essendon score, could have been 14-7. It would have been a lot tighter margin, but they just kicked straight, as I said. They kicked eight behinds, and then they kicked 7-6. So thankfully, Essendon kicked a little bit straighter and gave it a good crack after that. All right, folks, that's all I got for this one. Hey, until tomorrow night, we will see you then. Tune on in from about 7:35 Melbourne time. Brisbane taking on the Western Bulldogs. That's going to be a cracking game. All right, folks, until then, ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game.